What's up, guys? So we are back. The gang is still here. Shawn, Brian, before we get things going, how are you guys doing? It has been a minute since we recorded the last episode.
Things have been pretty good. It's tax season, so get ready for that kind of fun. Just looking at some Jaguars news, a lot's been going on, so we're going to be divulging into a lot of updates since we last spoke, both Jaguars and NFL related, so I'm excited to get to that.
Yeah, I'm doing all right too. Just slaving away at work. Trying to make money. Doing this. This is pretty fun. I'm ready to dive into it.
Yeah, this is when it gets to the off season. These episodes are fun because there's not much else to do besides just talk about this stuff. But yeah, before we get into that, we're going to talk about the things that have gone on recently. We're going to go ahead and start with a playoff recap. Obviously, we did have one episode that was like at the very beginning of the playoffs, and we did our playoff predictions. It was when Urban Meyer was hired and Trent Bulk. But now the playoffs are over. The Super Bowl. I don't know what Shawn's doing. What are you doing, Shawn?
And saying bulky, Trent Bulky.
All right, Brian, you're the tiebreaker. Is it Bulk or Bulky?
You don't know.
Brian, you're muted. Are we doing this every week?
That's right. It just popped up and said you are muted. Press. That's the second time. I don't know. I'm going to just say bulky because it sounds funnier.
Okay, I see who you're siding with here.
It sounds funnier.
I won't forget this, but regardless, let's get back to what we were saying. The playoffs, the Super Bowl, everything has happened. You guys have seen it. We have too, but we're going to give our opinions on some things. Obviously, we're not going to talk about everything, but here are some key points in my opinion that I noted. The Colts and Titans both took first-round exits. I think we can, all three of us, I think we can all unmute and give a round of applause for the Titans and Colts and their failure of a season.
Off clap.
Off clap. I'm excited.
All right, yeah. I just had to get that out of the way. Any Colts and Titans fans, if for some reason you're watching, we thank you
We're
for
not
your
sorry.
We thank you for your view, but
I'm sorry.
we are not sorry, Brian. But
Hey, we
let's
got to keep
continue.
the viewers. The viewers, if we start making fun of their team, they're going to start hating us and be like, you know what? I'm done watching this. So we got to be nice to them. You guys had a good season.
It's
Congratulations.
big cat chat, not big Colt or Titan chat.
Thank you, Shawn. Thank you. All right. Next note is the Bills and Browns finally won a playoff game. I believe two of them were the Browns and Bills had, I believe, the second and third longest playoff drought. The Browns might have had the longest. It's either them or Cincinnati. But so two of the three longest playoff win droughts were broken this year. Congrats to both of those teams. Another round of applause for Browns and Bills fans. Browns, they took a rough L to Jaguars legend Chad Henne. Legend. He did 2 4th downs. He also threw an arm punt. That was a great arm punt. Like, got to give credit to Chinny there. I just said Chinny. Okay, but the Bills, they were my Super Bowl pick, as you guys know. They died to Kansas City. Lamar, he also won his first playoff game of his career. Another round of applause. We're giving everybody rounds of applause. You know who we're not going to give a round of applause to? The Pittsburgh Steelers. You know what that? I think every single Jags fan watching that game, it reminded them of the 2017 Jags, or at least for me, it did. Like, it was almost the same score. I think the Browns scored like a field goal or something more that changed the score, but it was almost the exact same score as our game. But yeah, Browns pulled the upset. I actually was picking the Steelers because I thought the Browns were going to lose just because of who they had out. Like, their coach was watching in the basement. Like, what? But anyways, do what, Brian?
I think we all were doubting the Browns at that point, but I'm very happy the Browns won. I think everybody around America was thrilled the Browns got a win.
I agree. Next thing that happened was, well, technically this isn't official yet, but everybody knows Drew Brees is going to retire. He took his 4th straight embarrassing loss in the playoff. This year, instead of it being one play that just crushed their heart, they lost to the team that they beat twice in the regular season. So take that how you will. Drew Brees, he had like 3 or I don't think he had 4. I think he had 3 interceptions. He was pretty bad. So yeah, rip Drew Brees, legend. He's going into retirement. Most likely, if he comes back, he's a moron, is all I have to say. Next note is the Packers. The Packers were the Super Bowl pick for the other 2 people in here, and they fizzled out as well. They had an embarrassing NFC Championship game. I'm actually going to let Brian, the friend of a Packers fan, who was actually very confident about that pick, I'm going to let him speak about the Packers just for a second.
I was very surprised the Packers floundered the opportunity against the Bucs. I was really thinking it was going to be an offensive shootout. I didn't think the Bucs were going to. I mean, Rodgers did pretty well, and people were still hating on his performance. And I think Brady went like 2 for 2 touchdown interceptions. Rodgers did his job. The defense did not. The defense played like crap in simple terms. Kevin King got torched. Dude got absolutely embarrassed. And I mean, I was on Twitter watching everything go down and seeing Packers Twitter just absolutely attack and just belittle the Mike Pettin because he's not a good DC. He's like their version of Todd Wash, but
they had Kenny Clark in coverage at one point, which would be basically Taven Bryan going in coverage.
Exactly. Mike Pettin and Todd Wash are both similar in play style or play calling style, and they look similar. If you really take a look at both of them, they look pretty similar too. It's kind of scary. But yeah, shout out to the Packers. They had a great season. Rodgers deserved that MVP vote or MVP award. Unfortunately, the defense, as usual, just could not help him out and getting killed by the Bucs. And hope they see them come back strong. And hopefully, my Packer friend will have a good season next year and with a new DC in his town as well. So
if you're watching Packer, Brian's Packer friend,
you will
salute
to you, buddy.
Next and final point was the Super Bowl itself. Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, they made the first ever home field Super Bowl, and they were the first team to ever win a home Super Bowl. Tom Brady secures his 7th. I know Shawn was celebrating that while Brian and I were sitting here like, can we please die? So like I just let Brian talk about his Packers, I'm going to let Shawn talk about his Tom Brady.
Never go against the GOAT in the Super Bowl. He's won 70% of his Super Bowls. That's unheard of. It'll never happen again. People want to say Mahomes is going to come in and he'll be the next one to win 7. It's never going to happen again. Tom Brady's the GOAT. Enough said. Michigan quarterback. That's why I root for him, because I'm a Michigan fan. So I was happy. Everyone else was crying about it. Oh, the refs. No, Brady.
Yeah, the second half ruined the entire refs argument. If it was like the first half, then people could argue it, but at the second half, there wasn't even any bad calls. It was just the Chiefs were cheeks. But yeah, the Chiefs, they were bad. Everybody, I mean, Travis Kelce was dropping passes. I mean, he still had like 100-something yards. He led the entire game in receiving because it's Travis Kelce. But he still had a couple bad drops. Tyreek Hill was a potato. Antoine Winfield gave him the deuces. But
that was the best moment of the Super Bowl.
Right in his face. He went like this.
He got flagged for it. That he didn't care.
He said it was worth it. He said he'd do it again.
I know, who wouldn't? I mean, it's not like he's going to get fined for it. He did. I mean, I don't think he did.
It's like a pennies compared to what he's making. Like it's nothing. He's just going to be like, okay, here you go. It was worth it. It's over now.
But yeah, Mahomes though. I just want to give credit. I mean, Mahomes, he was in the first quarter to the first half, but in that second half, he was incredible pretty much. I mean, obviously, he had a couple misses, but to be fair, his offensive line, was there any starter at their natural position on that entire offensive line?
I think there was 2. I think they were they had 2 tackles out and then 1 guard playing somewhere else, but they had 2 guys that were starters, I do believe.
I think
So
there's.
that's
I think
why
they were
they
on their
struggled.
second center too. I think.
So that's why they struggled. I didn't know the whole offensive line.
I have no idea. All I know is they said that was a stat he ran for like 497 yards for his life, like
That was
scrambling.
a record, by the way. He had the most scramble yards, like scrambling just for his life to throw the ball.
Note to Jaguars, invest in O-line.
Please.
And he had some incredible throws. Like he had the 2 of the best throws I've ever seen were back to back by Mahomes.
And
Like
they were
he's getting pulled down by 2 guys and launches it. No, he couldn't step into it or anything. He launches it to the back pylon, which it wasn't a touchdown, but I mean, it was in the best position he possibly could get it to. And then the following play was even crazier. He threw the ball lateral to the ground. His Shawn
Parallel to the ground.
He was like this.
Parallel.
His
Yeah,
body
he
was
was
like this.
And the ground was here. He just zinged it.
And he threw it right to hit him in the hands, and he dropped
No, hit him in the
Hit him in
helmet.
the helmet.
Oh, hit him in the helmet.
Hit him in
And
the
he's just
face
like-
mask.
Mahomes is like,
People's
Like,
face
bruh.
masks that game because Tyreek Hill had a touchdown hit him in the face mask,
Yep.
and then the running back had it hit him in the face mask. There was like 4 total drop touchdowns by the Chiefs. I was crying for Patrick Mahomes. Like that was hard to watch because, and then he had a couple interceptions that weren't even his fault. They were literally in the receiver's hands, and they're just like, you can have it. But regardless, Chiefs do not go back-to-back, and the Buccaneers make history, and Tom Brady gets drunk as you know what. Dude, Florida Tom Brady, I don't like Tom, but Florida Tom Brady was fun to watch yesterday at that parade. Right?
That
He
was
barely
super
could
funny.
walk.
I was like, this man deserves it. Leave him alone.
I know, and everybody was so mad because they weren't wearing masks, but it's like they've been around each other all year. Like, regardless. But that's the playoffs. Now let's move on to the Jags official coaching hires. We talked about some the rumors and stuff, but these are all the official hires. I'm going to let Brian handle this to save my voice. You might want to unmute.
that's twice. Hold on. Sorry. I was
You
trying
don't have to. Don't go through all of them. Just go through like the main ones, like the 4 or 5 main ones.
Okay. So, obviously, we've got Urban Meyer, Darrell Bevel, Joe Cullen. Darrell Bevel being the offensive coordinator. Joe Cullen, the defensive coordinator. Who are the other important ones? George Warnock was retained.
Yeah, Brian Schneider for special teams, and Charlie Strong was the assistant head coach.
That's a big one. That's basically his second man. So keep an
We
eye
have
on
like
Charlie Strong.
31. If I counted right, we have like 31 total coaches.
Yeah, crazy.
We have 3 coaches for the DBs. We have a safeties coach, a cornerbacks coach, and then
Was it a nickel coach?
nickel coach. Thank you. I was blanking on the
I like
word.
that, honestly. I like isolating positions. It gives you the more one-on-one training.
Yeah, and then you have the inside linebackers coaches. We have the outside linebackers coaches. 3-4.
3-4.
Hi, beat you to it.
Yeah,
Right.
it says inside linebacker. So, yeah, it sounds like 3-4 is coming to the Jags.
But yeah, overall, I like pretty much every single hire except for one. We're not really going to go into it much, but you guys have probably seen it. Chris Doyle, not a good hire. Shouldn't have done it, but
We're getting canceled, boys. Packer
Well-
things. Let's go.
I don't care how good of a coach he is. It just wasn't worth the headache. There had to be somebody who was like, how much better could he be than the next man up that you're willing to have the headache? It wouldn't be for me.
yeah, I
only
don't know. It's a PR
argument-
nightmare.
The only quote-unquote argument you can give him is he deserves a second shot, but, his history is bad. So this guy is on a short – I would hope he's on a short leash, but, Urban and his history of coaches and players in college. But who knows? Maybe he learned, and NFL's not college, so one can hope this guy's on a very short leash, and any simple mess up and he's gone. But who knows with Urban? He might keep him. But if it gets to a certain point and pulls a Coughlin, then he's going to be fired, and we'll be fine. But I'll worry about it when there's issues being spoken of. So
Yeah, the Urban Meyer, when he said he was going to get help and he wasn't going to be a nutcase walking around, he was not kidding. 31 coaches is quite the number. It's going to be interesting watching that if they have open practices, which I don't know how COVID will be, But if they do it with fans, seeing all the different coaches around the field. Yeah, now let's move on to the last thing before Jags offseason, specifically is the AFC South. I thought we'd talk about this because I thought this was kind of interesting. The AFC South has been an interesting division, to say the least, this offseason so far. The Titans, they lost their offensive coordinator. They lost the offensive coordinator to the Falcons. Obviously, we spoke about that. He was the offensive coordinator who got Ryan Tannehill back to being good, which, I mean, you could credit Henry, you could credit him. It depends on who you want to credit for that. But, I mean, he is the offensive coordinator who Ryan Tannehill exploded under. Derrick Henry ran for 2K under him, but that's Derrick Henry. So take it how you will. I think he was a good offensive coordinator, and I think it's a big loss for the Titans, but we'll see. How do you guys feel about this for the Titans, for the Jags? I'll let Shawn start.
I think it's good for us. I actually thought highly of Arthur Smith. I thought he was the guy I actually wanted to be the head coach for the Jaguars. I think the Falcons will greatly benefit from it. I don't know who they replaced with. I think they hired from within. I'm not entirely sure, but hopefully they can keep it. Well, not hopefully, but I'm sure they're hoping that they can keep it going with Tannehill. I hope it all falls apart.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next thing. Brian, I'm gonna let you speak on the next thing. Okay.
All right.
But next thing is Houston. Houston, you guys thought we were bad? You guys thought we were a dumpster fire last year and the year before? Houston is next level. They've got former players. They've got legendary former players, not just Jalen Ramsey being mad, Unique Ngakoue. They've got Andre Johnson tweeting, who's not even on the team. They've got DeAndre Hopkins. They've got everybody talking about it. But yeah, that place is a mess. Watson requested a trade officially, which let's go. Get him out of the AFC. Go to the Panthers. Go to Washington. I don't care. Go to the 49ers. Just stay away from me. They also, in my opinion at least, they hired the worst head coach they possibly could have. They hired a guy who he was the passing game coordinator for the Ravens, who had the worst passing offense in the entire NFL last year. And he was also with the Chiefs when they threw zero wide receiver touchdowns. He was the wide receivers coach for them that year.
I'll say it was the second worst passing offense last year because I think the Patriots were worse.
I think it was either second or last.
Because Colts had Cam had 8 touchdowns passing. Like, come on.
That's true. Yeah, and he was the wide receivers coach for the Chiefs the year when they got Eric Fisher. When they got the first overall pick because they had 0 wide receiver touchdowns. How does that happen? And how does this guy get a job as a head coach after being the head guy for both of those occurrences? Don't ask me. It's Houston. And for some reason, Houston has a thing for copying New England because it's like they keep hiring people from New England. But, yeah, they're in draft hell until they trade Watson. And Jack Easterby is all that needs to be said. Brian, you can speak now.
Well, for starters, not only do we want Watson out of Houston, but it's the fact that the guy doesn't deserve this. Like, he signed an extension expecting people are like, oh, he signed the extension, he should stay put. No, he signed that extension expecting the organization to build around him and help him become a great team, with him as basically the captain of the team. And they failed to do that. And now he wants out. He wants to be somewhere where he's appreciated, and I completely understand that. I'd do the same. It's basically like going to your job and telling your boss or the boss telling you, hey, you're useless. We don't really care what you think. That's pretty much what the situation is here. I don't know what they were thinking with the head coach. Like that, I think that was the nail in the coffin for him leaving. They have barely any draft capital to even help him if he even stays, and that's another topic for another day. Easterby is Easterby was actually a preacher before he became like a GM. He was like a preacher or something. He was like in church doing these preaching things, and now all of a sudden he's a GM, and it's bad. It's just so bad. And Watson, just get out of there. Just get anywhere but Houston, and I guarantee you'll be successful and happy again. Preferably
All
in
right.
the NFC.
Yes, yes. Next note for the AFC is the Colts. The Colts, they have no idea what they're doing at quarterback. They wanted Matthew Stafford. He goes to the Rams. They want, well, I mean, obviously they want Watson, but they're not going to get him. I think they want Wentz, but the Eagles are morons and want like 2 first-rounders and players for Wentz. Like, he had one good year. Please stop. And they lost their offensive coordinator, Nick Sirianni, to the Eagles, ironically. So the Colts, they're in a very odd offensive situation, but they do have a good general manager, Chris Ballard. So they might figure it out. I hope they somehow mess it up and ruin their chances. Shawn, anything about Colts?
Watch out for them when it comes to the Trent Williams sweepstakes because their left tackle retired also. So I hope they get Wentz, honestly, so that he'll chew up a big portion of their cap space and they can't afford a lot. But so we all know salary cap is fake, so they'll find a way.
Pretty much. And to finish off the AFC South, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're going to get Trevor Lawrence. We got Urban Meyer. We have the most money in the league. We have the most draft capital, I think, in the league.
A lot of picks.
Do what?
We have 2 firsts, 2 seconds,
2 seconds and a third.
That's
So
5
5 in the
picks
top
in
100.
3. Yes, that's huge capital. And it's enough to possibly get Kyle Pitts, but that's just something I'm very supportive of.
You know I want Kyle Pitts.
Oh, we all know Josiah wants Kyle Pitts, but it's a matter of what we do in free agency, which we'll discuss at a later date.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is the situation, coaching hires, playoff recap. We're going to go ahead and go into a break now, but when we get back, we're going to be starting the off-season for the Jaguars. This is off-season episode number 1. We're going to have multiple off-season episodes, just talking about different stuff, and when it gets closer to the season, we'll do our season predictions. But this is the first episode of the off-season, so obviously we got to give our everything we want. We're going to come back with our hats on, our general manager Shawn, general manager Josiah, and general manager Brian. We're at your service, and we're going to make the Jacksonville Jaguars a playoff team. We'll see you guys in a second.
You almost hit that make the Jaguars great again, didn't you?
That would have been hysterical.
See you guys in a second. We're back, guys. So let's go ahead and begin the Jags off-season. Because, this is what Jags fans do the best, is off-season stuff. But let's go ahead and start with we'll start with who we want to re-sign. We're going to try and go in order of the offseason. So re-signing – first off, we actually cut Kamele Correa earlier. Why do I say offensive linebacker? It's an outside linebacker. When I first started learning football a couple of years ago or something, I didn't know what OLB stood for, so I said, is that an offensive linebacker? And I think my friend heard me wrong, and he said yes. So for like a few months, I thought it was an offensive linebacker. I'm like, what the heck is an offensive linebacker? But that's enough of that story. But yeah, we traded with the Titans for him. I actually predicted that on Twitter. I got evidence. But yeah, he got cut. He was trash. Wasted pick. Regardless. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and give my free agent signings, who I would want to sign. And then I'll let Brian go, and then I'll let Shawn go, because Shawn went in depth. Shawn is literally like he should apply for a general manager job. Like he went.
Do your re-signings too. Re-signings of the players that we have.
I just said we're doing re-signings.
Oh, I just heard new signings.
Did you not listen to me?
I just heard new signings.
I said re-signings. I never said new signings. What? Okay. I don't know what that was, but we're going to go ahead and get into this.
My defense
For
mechanism.
me, none of these are in a particular – I didn't do mine in a particular order. I'll kind of say, though, in a second, but I'm just going to list them off. For me, I want Justin Simmons or John Johnson, one of the safeties. I'd be fine with another safety, too, but those are my top 2 options for safety.
I thought we were doing re-signings, not new signings.
No, see, it's because I have them in the other order. Thank you. My re-signings. I want to re-sign. We're gonna have a lot of the same stuff probably, but for me, Keelan Cole, if we don't sign one of the other wide receivers, so he's not my priority. Ignore that. He's not my priority, but I'd like to have Keelan back, and he wants to be back. But if we sign one of the other big wide receivers, there's no need. So it just depends on how much he wants and who else we sign. Then I want to keep Smoot. He's good depth, but it also depends on the money. Hopefully, he doesn't have too much of an ego and think he's worth too much, like Ngakwe did. And then Sidney Jones, 1,000% need to keep him, whether it's a 1-year deal or 2-year deal or whatever. He showed a lot of flashes, and he only really had a couple bad plays. He was just hurt most of the time. So I'd really want him back. Tyler Eifert, if he's cheap, I'll take him back for a good tight end too, to either be a mentor for Freer Mouth or Freer Muth, whatever it is, Kyle Pitts, whoever it be. He could be a. What's with the name pronunciation in this?
It's been said it's Freiermuth.
Freiermuth? Oh, I've never.
It's the one that we should know. But the bulky and whatever the other one was, bulky and bulk, whatever. That's understandable. But it's Freiermuth.
Weird last name. But yeah, Eifert, like I said, he could be a good tight end too, good mentor. And then Trey Herndon, I didn't actually know he was a free agent. I just saw their list and I was like, wait, he's a free agent? So yeah, I'd like to re-sign him. He was good in the slot. Wait, why do I keep saying slot? That's a wide receiver. I'm having a rough day here, okay?
That's same difference.
That's a position. It's called the slot receiver, so you're fine.
I know. But
get together, run a podcast.
He's a corner. I don't know why I'm having such a rough day with stuff going on right now. But Trey Herndon, I'd like him back. He was good in the nickel. He could actually get people down. Like he actually got Deshaun Watson down a couple times like nobody else could. He sucks on the outside though. Terrible. But regardless, he's good depth either way. So I'd re-sign him. And then finally, Tyler Shatley, center. He's like 30 now. But I mean, we re-sign him to 1-year deals like every year. It's an annual thing. So you might as well get your Shatley jersey if you're a Jags fan. Number 69 too. Nice. But yeah, he's great depth. When Linder was hurt, there wasn't much of a difference. Obviously, Linder's a better pass protector, but Shatley's probably a little bit of a better run blocker. And there wasn't too much difference in pass blocking. So those are my re-signs. Ignore anything I said about free agents. That was an accident because I'm brain dead. I'll let Brian go now.
We're just doing re-signings right now?
Yes, just re-signings.
All right, just making sure. So first and foremost, the first guy I'm picking to re-sign, and I'm obviously not in the majority here, is I'm going with Smoot. I'm paying Smoot. Obviously, you don't want to pay him too much, which I don't think he's going to do that. I think he understands his value, but it's somebody that I would want to keep, whether it's a 3-4 or 4-3. I think he does fine. He's a good rotational guy in a 3-4 as well. I think he'd be good on the outside.
Speak up slightly.
I think he'd be a good option to just keep sticking around. He'd be on my top list for signing as soon as possible. Second would be Sidney Jones. Like, we don't need more holes than we already have, and corner wasn't too big of a hole until the end of the season when everyone was hurt. And I believe that he's 24, 25. He's young. He's really young. So he's still growing. And with a new staff, he has that potential to grow it to something even better. And he could be cornerback 2 or even number 1, depending on how Hendo does. After that, I would try to stick around with Trey Herndon. He struggled on the outside, as you said, but he was pretty good in the nickel position, Josiah. And I think that he's worth.
Is this what we're going to do? Are we just going to be trolling me the whole time?
Anyways, Tyler Shatley. Tyler Shatley would be a good keep because, I mean, he's great depth. And there was no problems when he was in when Linder was out. I think he's a great addition to the backup role. He's good. I would rather not lose him. Keep Eifert. Like I said, like you said earlier, most of our picks are the same, but they're pretty obvious. We need these guys. Eifert would be a good tight end too, for whoever we pick in the draft, which I'd imagine we pick a tight end, whoever that may be. Hopefully Kyle Pitts. bit of a wild card here that I completely forgot. Dakota Allen, he's going to be a free agent. Depth. He played pretty well when he did play. He had some
Quincy
moments.
Williams is going to be back and healthy.
Yeah, I know, but special teams.
Quincy Williams is a weak side linebacker in a 4-3.
Well, I mean,
I wonder what he would do I wonder if he'd actually be worth keeping.
We're talking depth because Dakota Allen is depth.
So. Yeah,
Dakota Allen trash.
Dakota Allen was that. He made a good play, and we thought, he might be nice. And then 2 seconds later, he made the worst play of his life.
Oh, well, I said keep him because he is very, very good on special teams, which we need to keep.
This is roast Brian now for picking Dakota Allen. Like, what are you doing? What do you mean the Rams got rid of him for a reason?
He got rid of him because he was a bad player on defense, but he's not a bad special temer. He's pretty good on special teams if you pay attention, Josiah.
I know, I'm just messing with you.
And
getting defensive over there.
I wanted to say keep Keelan Cole, but I feel like we could find a better option, whether that be Galladay or Allen Robinson or just anybody else. I think he walks. I think he asks for too much, or we just simply move on. If for some reason we don't get another signing, I wouldn't mind obviously keeping him, but I feel like there's other options out there that are better suited for us. But we'll find out when we get to that point.
The development of Brian. He went from hating DJ Chark and constantly saying Keelan Cole is wide receiver 1 to then he's like, hey, actually, I like DJ Chark again. He's always open.
Yeah, because you guys showed me that he was always open. But Keelan Cole is fine. But
hey, let me finish. Let me finish this evaluation. And then you were like, but you're still on the Keelan Cole train, and now you're just like, yeah, Keelan Cole can walk. That's the evolution of Brian. But on to Shawn.
Okay, so my priority free agent is going to be Sidney Jones. Let's be honest, he was not good with the Eagles at all. And then he came here and played the best that he's played since being in the NFL. I think that he will bet on himself this year probably and take a 1-year deal. I said make 1 year, $5 million, maybe $6 million a year, just a tryout. Try him out there again. I don't see why not. He has injury issues, so that's why it might work, it might not work, depending on how healthy he can stay. Trey Herndon, I'm also going to bring back because he's probably the best nickel currently on the roster by far. So Tyler Eifert is kind of weird because his is actually an option, which I didn't know that NFL contracts had options like that, but the club
Only had one last year.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So it's a club option, and I fully expect them to pick that up. He could be a good tight end too, man, and he's a good veteran guy for if we do get a rookie or just a guy to have that. He actually stayed healthy last year, so that was surprising to a lot of people. Shatley I'm bringing back. He'll be cheap. He's a long tenure Jaguar. The drop-off from Linder to him wasn't that bad. Some people will say Linder is vastly better. I like Linder. He's really good, but Shatley, I didn't notice a big difference in play when he got in. And the guy on my list that you guys don't have on yours is defensive end Adam Gotsis. I'm definitely bringing him back. He has multiple scheme versatility. He can play big end in a 4-3.
He was really good against the run.
Yeah, he can play defensive end in a 3-4. He's a good run stuffer for a defensive end in a 3-4. He'll be good depth. So I'm definitely bringing him back. That's pretty much all I have. I'm not bringing Smoot back. I think he's going to want too much money. Definitely not bringing back that linebacker that Brian said.
That linebacker. Names won't even be said.
We're not going to go there again. Just not that linebacker. That's pretty much where I'm at with that.
All right. So
Shawn,
those are our re-signings.
Shawn,
Keyword Do what?
He's going to get canceled for not saying names. You remember that WNBA player where a guy was like, said, number what so-and-so is nice. And he's like, say my name or something. I was like,
I don't know.
It's a compliment.
Yeah, it's when you say your number, that's a sign of respect. He took it another way. So, yes, not saying Dakota Allen's name is disrespectful, guys. Come on now.
Moving on.
Okay. I love how Shawn went from laughing, ha, 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 moving on. But there's been guys, this episode's been fun to record because there's just been so much banter this time. We probably bantered more than we have given any actual knowledge.
That's what happens when the chemistry starts coming together.
But let's go ahead and move on to what I accidentally started doing. We're gonna go for our free agent goals. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this. As you guys know, I said Justin Simmons and John Johnson. Those are my top two safeties because I really want us to sign a safety, especially these guys. They're really good safeties. We have so much money. I don't care. Drop the bag on them. You're going to overpay anyways, and they're worth it. There are a few other safeties that, Shawn, Brian might say them, but there's a few other safeties I'd be okay with. I wouldn't be mad, but those are my top two. One of my biggest ones that I want is Leonard Williams. Because, I doubt we're going to get him. I think he might. I honestly think he's going to re-sign with New York or get tagged, one or the other. But I really love him for that defensive line. He's just much better than what we have there. And he adds to it. Because we do have Devon Hamilton, but you can't have one player. Then I'd like we were speaking about receiver, I have Allen Robinson or Kenny Golladay. But actually... I hadn't changed this, but I know Shawn's going to say it, so this is kind of a spoiler. But Curtis Samuel, I really like Curtis Samuel too. And I think that one's probably the most plausible of the three.
Stealing my thunder, you son of a bitch.
Sorry, I had to do it. Because he's from because he played with Urban, actually. So that would make sense, and I think he's probably a better scheme fit. But I'd really love Allen Robinson to come back to the Jags or Kenny Golladay. They're both really good players. But yeah, like I said, if for some reason we can't get any of them, Keelan Cole's not bad. Keelan Cole played really well last year. He was open all the time. I don't care about his statistics. Then let's move on to offensive line, like we were speaking about earlier. Protect Trevor. Don't let him do what Mahomes had to do in the Super Bowl. So I put Trent Williams. This is my number one because of how good he is. And I don't care if he's 30. How old was Calais when we signed him? And he was good for he's like second or third in franchise sacks, and he was with us for 3 years at an old age. So I don't care. Give Trent Williams money and give us a good tackle, left tackle specifically, to protect Trevor. But I also put Brandon Scherf because, this one's not necessarily. I just really like Brandon Scherf. I think he's a really good guard. And I think we could use a guard, but there's stuff we could do. Like we could draft somebody, move Taylor, blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of stuff we could do at the guard position, but if we sign Brandon Scherf, I'd like it. I think Brandon Scherf's a great guard. And then my last two are Ryan Kerrigan or Shaq Barrett, because I think we're moving to a 3-4. I think we all do. I think it's pretty obvious. And Shaq Barrett is a tremendous edge rusher in a 3-4 with, he got the second most pressures in a Super Bowl per PFF behind Nick Bosa by only like one or two. He had he nearly 20 pressures in the entire game. He led the league in sacks just last year, 19.5. This year he only had 8, but basically ever since he got out from behind Von Miller, this guy's been incredible, and I think he'd be great for us. He's also a veteran. But then if you can't get him, which I think he's going to go back to Tampa Bay. He already said he's going to, but again, just because he says it doesn't mean he actually will. Shawn was saying he wants to old takes exposed everything they were saying yesterday at the party. I hope so. And then I said Ryan Kerrigan because he's old. He's in his 30s, I believe, but he's not bad. He's a good veteran presence, and he could probably get some reps too. But yeah, those are my re-signing guys. Brian, I'll let you go. We're going to keep Shawn last in all of these because, like I said, he did more in-depth on this kind of stuff. But, Brian, it is your turn.
Yeah, so – oh, God, voice crack. So, since you started out with Trent Williams, I'm going to go with a different approach. I'm going to go with the defensive side of the ball. Leonard Williams, throw the bag. Trent Williams, throw the bag, but Leonard Williams, throw the bag. We need a defensive tackle. Plug a hole in free agency before the draft, kind of but make our options less strenuous when we get to the draft and, make it easier for our picks. then I would say get Trent Williams to protect Lawrence. Because we all know Trent Williams is very good. Age, as you said, does not matter, especially when he's playing at a high level. And left tackles, for some reason, we're sponsoring now, pretzels. For some reason, left tackles have a very good tendency to have a very lengthy career if they don't have too many injuries, if they keep themselves healthy. And Williams has done that. And I think he's still in a prime position to play. And we need that veteran presence on the line as well, and someone we can hold on for a year or two at least. And then probably even get a guy in the draft to be his predecessor or someone in the first round in the next year or two. Wide receiver, if we don't keep Keelan Cole, which, I mean, I would say we try to, but like it wouldn't be a priority. But I would say as a homer, I'm going with Allen Robinson. I want to bring him home. But he may not. He may not. We don't know. If we didn't get Robinson, I'd go for Kenny Galladay, and then obviously Keelan Cole, option 3. But, I mean, I got to check the other options, but those are my top priorities for the wide receiver position to help Trevor. And here's a little bit of a surprise that some people may find. Alex Smith as a quarterback signing for a veteran presence.
Alex Smith is not a free agent. This is if he gets cut.
Is he not?
No, he's still under contract for a year, but it's believed he might get cut because he's expensive.
Okay, then yeah, he would be my choice if he is cut.
Fitz is the one who's a free agent, by the way.
Yeah, Fitz would be my option if Alex Smith can't be hired or signed, because both are great presences for Trevor Lawrence and great options if, God forbid, Trevor went down. Most important thing in the NFL is if you don't have a good backup, you are in trouble, even if they start for 10 years, because you never know. Another signing I would like to do is Jamal Williams. Got to have another pace changer in the backfield with Robinson, so he's not taking 90% of the snaps and nearly dying in the process, because he took a lot of snaps last year.
I feel like you just stole Shawn's thunder like I did earlier.
Yep, that was my guy.
Oh.
We're just stealing all of Shawn's guys.
Oh, I've got 2 interesting ones that I know you guys don't have. So Jamal Williams. Next one, I'm going to the secondary, and this is a maybe, but it's something I looked into. Carl Joseph, strong safety.
Who?
Carl Joseph.
Okay, I was eating a pretzel.
Because he's on Cleveland. Of course you are. He's in Cleveland. They just got Ronnie Harrison, who's been up and down with Cleveland. You know, he's stunk with us, but he's had his moments of good and bad there. I think they bite on that, and they let go of Joseph, and I think we end up snagging him up for strong safety. Plug a hole. And then one of my sleeper picks that I have been wanting more and more recently is Marcus Williams, free safety, who's going to be a free agent with the Saints. 24 years old, one of the best safeties in the league this year, well, according to PFF at least, but he's actually one of the best safeties this year, has been very good for that defense, and I think that he would be a phenomenal addition to the defense in general, and would be a big upgrade over, who is it?
Gerard Wilson.
Gerard Wilson, yes. Gerard Wilson, yes. He a big upgrade over Gerard. Sorry, Gerard, I'd let go of you.
We also have Josh Jones.
He stinks. Yeah, he's a tackler at best.
Shawn looks like he's like waiting this week. Shawn is ready.
Ready for this. Yeah, but that's my signings. It's got 7 signings. I'd say about 2 or 3 big money signings. The rest of them are mid-level to lower tier, I guess you could say. Marcus Williams would probably get paid a lot, though, so maybe 4. But overall, would be great signings. Like I said, Carl Joseph is a maybe, so if not, at least 6. And if Alex Smith can't be done, then it would be Ryan Fitzpatrick. And if wide receivers can't be signed, then we go back to Keelan Cole. Shawn, you look antsy. The floor is yours.
Just taking all my picks, man. All of you. This is what sucks about going last, but it's okay. It's okay.
You can go first next time. How about that?
It is okay. I went bonkers with my free agency. I'm like, yo, Jaguars got all the money. I don't care about being cheap. Shad Khan's not cheap. You can get all these deals done. Huge signing bonuses, offsets cap hit. We've been known to do that already. Priority number 1 is Trent Williams. I'm paying him $22-23 million a year. Whatever he wants. I'm just, whatever you want, you got it, dog. It's yours. Take it.
Blank check.
Because He has had his fair share of injuries over the years. I don't even think he played a full season last year. I think he played 14 games. But you're talking about a future Hall of Famer at the position, probably. He's been regarded as probably top 2, and he's not 2 left tackles in the game since he's been in. Definitely throwing the bag at him. One that I have on here, this is just me connecting dots. This isn't necessarily what I would do. This is what I think might happen, is outside linebacker Matt Judon from the Ravens. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but we do have Joe Cullen now, who was the Ravens defensive line coach. We have a whole bunch of other people who came from the Ravens, I believe. So I think he might be. I wouldn't pay him a lot of money. Like someone was saying that he reportedly wants like $20 million. I would laugh in his face if he told me that. Yeah, like I'm not paying you $20 million, bro. You had 6 sacks last year. Maybe like 10 to 12. I doubt he would take it. If I can't get him, I would go Ryan Kerrigan. I've been talking about getting Ryan Kerrigan for like 2 years now. Especially now that we're transitioning to a 3-4. You're talking about a guy who better for Caleb on Chason to learn from than the guy who's been doing it at a pretty high level since he's been in the league. Ryan Kerrigan should have been a Jaguar, and he would have been a Jaguar had Gene Smith not gone behind Jack Del Rio's back, traded up and got Blaine Gabbert in 2011. Ryan Kerrigan would have been a Jaguar. I guarantee it.
Hey. Blaine Gabbert is a Super Bowl champion. Do not disrespect.
I thought he was going to be good. I didn't think he was going to be good. I wanted him to be good. Let's just say that. Center Corey Linsley from the Packers. Now, this one might be controversial because we have a guy who should be a perennial Pro Bowler in Brandon Linder. But we all know what was Brandon Linder drafted as, guys? Can you guys tell me?
Guard.
Now, tell me, Brian, was he good at playing guard?
Yes.
Yes.
Was he better than one A.J. Can at playing guard?
Yes.
So if you signed center Corey Linsley, what could you do with Brian Linder? Or Brandon
Also,
Linder?
centers are
Move
generally
him back
great
to right
guards.
guard.
You can move Brandon Linder to right guard. Brandon Linder makes a lot of money, actually. Centers are historically cheaper than guards. And then, as you further you go out, the more expensive it gets. So you signed Corey Linsley to a modest deal. I think I read that he was probably his market value is anywhere from $6 to $8 million per. I would do that. Move Brandon Linder over to right guard.
That's a huge fix on the O-line right there.
You're looking pretty good right now. So you're talking about O-line so far. It's Trent Williams,
This is
Norwell.
if everybody stays healthy, because Trent could get hurt. Brandon could get
anybody
hurt.
Be optimistic, Josiah.
Anybody can get hurt. You can get hurt.
Yeah.
I know, it's just we have an injury-prone offensive line, it seems.
Your left tackle is going to be Trent Williams, Andrew Norwell, Corey Linsley, Brandon Linder, and I'll get to the right tackle later. You're talking about probably the best interior offensive line in football by far, in my opinion. A lot of money tied up in it, but it's Trevor Lawrence, baby. Got to keep him upright.
And Lindsley's not even that expensive. If we give him $8 million a year, that's not bad at all.
Not at all. And then, so another one I have is tight end Jonnu Smith. I want to get anybody in here who can be a good athletic mismatch tight end. I think Jonnu Smith could be that guy. And also, I'm tired of watching him burn the Jaguars twice a year. Sick of seeing it. First it was Delaney Walker. Now it's him. I'm done. He's going to be on our team now.
You know what's funny? I actually wanted to draft him when he was in the draft. I think he was a late-round pick, right? I think he went to FIU, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
I think a little bit of a tidbit story off topic. He was actually in a domestic violence case. Not him doing it, but his ex-girlfriend dumped boiling water all over him on his back, and it was a big story.
Poor guy.
Yeah, it was bad. But I loved him coming out of college. I wanted him. I thought he was a sleeper, and he's got some serious potential.
Dude has really good speed for the position, exceptional speed in my opinion for the position. Definitely would love to get him as a target for Trevor Lawrence. Nice safety blanket. Him and Tyler Eifert, you're 1 and 2. Twin tight end sets all day, baby.
Or hear me out, Jonnu Smith, Pat Fryermuth.
Hear me out.
Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts, Jonnu Smith, Tyler Eifert.
No, that's too much.
You got to get rid of
too
Eifert.
far.
You got to get rid of Eifert because I think he's on 1 year deal.
No, I think if you get Jonnu Smith, you don't draft a tight end. That's me personally. So Jonnu Smith, Eifert. What if you move Colin Johnson to tight end? We won't get into that right now. That's a talk for another time.
Yeah.
I'm not done yet. We're still going. Wide receiver. I'm getting Curtis Samuel, baby. Allen Robinson, he ain't coming back. That's a pipe dream. Get it out of your head. He's not happening. Kenny Golladay, he's a little injury prone. He's also going to only pretty much play outside and not slot. I want Chenault and Chark on the outside. I don't want Chenault in the slot, except for sometimes. I'm tired of seeing this guy run crossing routes. I'm tired of seeing this guy run drag routes. Send him deep. He gets open. We saw it last year with Mike Glennon, drop one in the bucket for him. Give me Curtis Samuel. He is the ideal slot. He's going to be the perfect guy to complement those two outside weapons. He's going to give Trevor Lawrence a reliable weapon over the center. He can also line up in the backfield. He can be an RB2 if you want him to. Do that. Speaking of RB2, my next one, Jamal Williams. Give me that guy. This guy can also return kicks. Who sucks at returning kicks? Chris Claybrooks. Get him off my team.
Hey, depending on Keelan Cole, if we re-sign Keelan Cole for cheap, which if
he's a good kick returner too.
He's a good returner.
But Jamal Williams, he returns kicks. I did not know that until I was watching some Packers games last year. I was like, wow, this big dude's returning kicks. He's not that bad at it. Then I got quarterback. I got Ryan Fitzpatrick / Alex Smith. If Alex Smith gets cut, he's definitely coming here, in my opinion. Talk about the ideal mentor for a young Trevor Lawrence coming in. And who coached Alex Smith in college? Oh my God, Urban Meyer. Crazy, right?
And who did Alex Smith mentor? Give it to me.
Patrick freaking Mahomes, guys.
The only difference here is
I need that.
I just have this table. The only difference here is Trevor starting from day one.
That's fine.
God forbid something happens and he struggles.
Knowledge is knowledge.
Yeah,
that's fine. Alex Smith is gonna mentor this guy. I can't think of any two quarterbacks honestly better to learn from. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's seen it all. He's played in all kinds of systems.
I got another one. Who recently did really good that got sat behind Alex Smith?
Who?
He had the best playoff performance. He just got re-signed.
Wait, what?
Sat behind Alex Smith?
Not for long, but still, he sat behind Alex Smith.
Oh, Tyler Heineke?
Yes.
Oh, see, hey, you get around Alex Smith, what happens? You become good.
Exactly. And Tyler Heineke was not good until he was behind Alex Smith. I'm just saying.
Now,
I'll be quiet now.
When it comes to the safety, I do want to address the safety position. I was thinking, Marcus Williams, Marcus May, Justin Simmons, any of these guys, they would be good. John Johnson III. However, the more I got thinking about it, in my opinion, safety is almost like the running back of defense. I'm not going to invest a lot of money in it. I'm just not going to. Just get a guy who can cover decent and has good range and he doesn't miss a lot of tackles. This one's going to be controversial, and I'm only saying this pick because he played for Urban Meyer in college, is Malik Hooker. I'm giving him a one-year prove-it deal. He's very injury-prone, but I'm giving him a one-year prove-it deal. Come play free safety. You can move Gerard Wilson over to strong safety. He can play either one. Or you can draft a guy. We'll see if I do coming up. Stay tuned in, see if I draft a guy. Malik Hooker, I just think it makes too much sense. I don't think the Colts are going to re-sign him. He's kind of been a buzz since he's been there, but he hasn't been healthy. 1 year prove-it deal. He's not going to be expensive. It can't hurt, in my opinion.
He was a really good prospect. He's really good.
He was.
As long as
it's
he's
just
healthy.
the injuries, man. He's like. Listen, with Colts and the safeties always getting hurt. Bob Sanders, now it's Malik Hooker. It's like habitual with them.
Malik Hooker. PFF, they actually released their all-time prospect, or not all-time, but since like the past decade or two, it was all-decade prospect, and Malik Hooker was up there with safety.
I'm not going to lie. When the Colts picked him, I was scared. I was like, man, this guy is going to be an intercepting machine. And, I mean –
he was when he was healthy.
He actually still has – I'm pretty sure he's only played 4 years. I think he has –
exactly.
Numbers of interceptions. So, I mean –
he has a lot of interceptions.
If he can stay healthy, he could earn himself a decent deal here. He gets a 1 year prove it. He stays healthy. He might earn himself a 3 year deal. It's the same thing that goes with Sidney Jones and the re-signings. He gets a 1 year deal. He can go off. You give him a 3 year deal. And then he's a free agent again by the time he's 28. Oh, my God. You get another payday. So that's my list. It's not necessarily everything I would do. It's just things that I would do / I think they could do. Like the Matt Judon and the Malik Hooker is kind of like what I think they might do because just the familiarity with the players, with the coaches that they brought in.
Yes. With Alex Smith, like if he gets cut, I would bet money he comes to the Jags. Unless he retires, I'd like go to if I legally could, I'd go to Vegas and bet my home on it.
Jaguars have money. I would give him a substantial deal. I would almost pay him $10 million.
Because Yeah, we have a lot of money, so we have obviously.
Why not invest in a good backup just in case? Because he can come in and win games. He was 5-1 this year. He can come in and win games if Trevor gets hurt. I would pay him $10 million. Give him a big signing bonus. Make the cap hit small. It's too simple.
Pretty much. And but the reason I think I'd bet so much money on it is he was coached by Urban Meyer. He was drafted by Trent Baalke, whatever. I'm going to say Balk. I don't care.
He's beloved by Urban Meyer. Let's not just say he played for him. This guy is beloved by
Urban Meyer actually said he was the best quarterback he ever coached.
They're beloved by each other. Let's be real. Like, it's a total bromance going on with these two dudes.
Yeah, like there's no 1,000% Alex Smith is to the Jaguars if that happens. But we're about to go on a break, but I just want to go ahead and give a little note. I put the Jags position needs for pre-free agency / draft. I know we've already talked, so this is kind of a moot point because you guys have already figured that out. But obviously we need the safety, we need defensive line, we need offensive line, we need quarterback, we need tight end, and we need cornerback.
Position needs. Throw a dart, you'll find one.
Exactly. Pretty much. But yeah, guys, we're going to go ahead and take another break. When we get back, we are going to be going into our mock drafts. So if you like draft season, stay tuned. You guys got anything funny to say on this exit like last time?
No, I'm just ready to get into it. If you can't tell, I'm super hype already.
Okay. And Brian's just there like,
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
protect your chicken. We'll see you guys in a second. We are back, guys. So this screen looks a little bit different. Obviously, you can see us. We're over here. Brian's below me, and then Shawn's below Brian. So this is a little bit different way to see us, but I'm sharing my screen because it is mock draft time. So obviously, you guys can see a 7-round mock draft on your screen right now. This is my mock draft. So we're going to go ahead and get into the mock drafts. What we did is basically all three of us, we made our own individual mock drafts on our own time. And we're going to explain each pick, the thought process that went behind it, and we're going to rotate, and then we're going to do an entire first-round mock draft after this. But you guys, this is Jags time right now. So obviously, the pick might be Justin Fields, might be Zach Wilson, but I personally am taking Trevor Lawrence. I don't know about them. Stay tuned to see who they take at number 1. Could be a surprise. Could not be. Stay tuned. But obviously I took Trevor Lawrence at number 1 because Jags need a quarterback. No explanation needed. At number 25. Let me emphasize this. We did no trades, by the way, because you have to pay to do trades on this. So we're just like, no trades. I mean, to be honest, let's be fair. The Jags had 12 picks last year, and they didn't trade a single one for some reason. But I went offensive tackle Jalen Mayfield at number 25. I think he has a lot of value at 25. I think he could go earlier than that, possibly to the Bears, somebody else. The tackle rankings have gone up and down. So besides Rashawn Slater and even Penei Sewell, they've rotated. Like every single tackle has moved up and all around. Like there's nobody that's a guaranteed they're the top prospect anymore. It used to be Penei Sewell, but it's not anymore. A lot of people have Rashawn Slater above him, but that's regardless. I took Jalen Mayfield. I believe he played mostly right tackle in college, but obviously he could play left tackle too. Most of these guys have played right tackle but can play left tackle. But then again, I kind of took this with the thought of drafting Trent Williams for left tackle, so he would be playing right tackle. He'd be competing with Jawan Taylor for that right tackle spot. So it'd either be him or Jawan Taylor at that spot. And whoever loses that, if we don't do the kicking Brandon Linder to guard situation that Brian did I just say Brian? That Shawn said. See, I'm having a rough day still. Sorry, Shawn. But yeah, if we don't do that situation, then you could kick whoever loses. I'm not sure how Mayfield would play at guard, but I think Jawan Taylor could play fine at guard. I'm pretty sure. As a Florida fan and from stuff I've seen, I think he'd be fine. Most guys can do what? I
think Mayfield can play inside if he has to.
I think so. I think so too.
Dude was a really solid right tackle for Michigan. I think he definitely could slide in if he had to.
Yeah, I think the same goes for Jawan Taylor. I think whoever loses could kick into right guard because AJ there's no reason AJ Can should touch the field as a starter next year. You could literally move right. You could do what Shawn said and move Linder to right guard. You
You
could do what I
can.
say and move one of these two tackles to guard. I just
Whispers, AJ Can wasn't that bad last year.
at the beginning of the year, I mean,
He wasn't that bad the whole year. He actually played better than most people will give him credit for because people hate on him because he sucked for 3 years straight.
I'll give him some
4
credit,
years
but
straight.
I'll give him some credit because he did play better last year, but he's still not better than doing either of our
He's super
plans.
cheap. That's his only benefit is he's super cheap.
Exactly. And honestly, I want to protect Trevor. I just want to get somebody young who's going to be the future because AJ Can's not old, but you get my point. So yeah, whoever loses that battle would go to right guard. And then let's move on to Christian Barmore at number 33. He's the best defensive tackle in the draft. I do not care what you say because there's no reason you can give me that anybody else is better. This is a very deep defensive tackle draft, but there's no super like Quinnen Williams defensive tackle in this draft. There's no super high number one defensive tackle that's going to go top 5 like Derek Brown, Quinnen Williams. But it's a very deep draft like Shawn. At first, everybody was saying it was a kind of mid defensive tackle draft, but then Shawn did convince me that it's a really deep defensive tackle draft. It's just there's not that big number one guy.
It's deep. It's really heavy in rounds. Late one, if you're thinking Barmore there, second and third round is heavy. A lot of guys. There's Levi Orunzawerke, I think that's what his name is, like that, something like that. Davion Nixon.
Yeah.
A lot of guys like that in that range.
But yeah, it was kind of interesting that there's not that big because most of the years there's that one defensive tackle that's going to go top 10, sometimes top 5, but not this year. But Christian Barmore, he was dominant with Alabama, like most Alabama defensive tackles are. In the SEC championship game, he was always in Kyle Trask's face. In the national championship game, he was insane. He was easily the best player on the field. I mean, depending on because Devontae Smith didn't play the entire game. That's my excuse for saying Christian Barmore was the best player in that game. So yeah, and Jags need another defensive tackle. Obviously, like I said earlier, this because we would possibly sign Leonard Williams, but like I said, I don't think we're going to get Leonard Williams. I want to badly, but I just don't think it's going to happen. It's just the most unlikely in my opinion. And we do have Devon Hamilton and why am I blanking again? Who's the other defensive tackle? Undrafted rookie. Doug Costin. Doug Costin's good rotational piece. He had flashed some, but I think he'd be best at a rotational spot. So get Christian Barmore, get your guy to put alongside Devon Hamilton or whatever you want to do with them. Get your defensive tackles, solidify this defensive line. And then now let's move on to 46. I think you can pin this guy as a Jacksonville Jaguar unless somebody takes him before us. But if I think he's available at 46, I mean, we might even take him at 33. I think, guys, I think we just had a little bit of a situation. I think Shawn just died. Well, we're gonna pause. We'll continue this in a second, guys. Yeah, see you guys in a second. All right, we are back. Shawn is here. Shawn, you want to explain yourself real quick?
My computer was like, yo, your battery's low. And then it was like, bye. And I was like, yo, you're plugged in. But it wasn't.
All right, let me restart what I was saying, though. If at 46, if this player is at 46, pin him a Jaguar. If he's at 33 even, I mean, I think he'll be there at 33. He might even go there. I think you can almost pin Pat Freiermuth as a Jaguar because, for one, he's a great tight end, obviously. He's the second best tight end in the class, in my opinion. He went down with an injury, and I think that's why he fell so much to this point. Same reason Jawan Taylor fell, same reason Miles Jack fell. I think this could be that injury causes him to fall to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the big reason I think you can pin him a Jaguar is because today in our hires, we hired his tight end coach from college who got him the second most tight end touchdowns last year. And Pat even quote tweeted the Jaguars hiring him as our tight end coach. So I think he's going to bang on the table for he's going to bang on the table for us to draft Pat. And I think that'd be a great decision because I think Pat's going to be a good tight end. Obviously, he's no Kyle Pitts, but he's still very good. I mean, it's hard to say anybody's Kyle Pitts because nobody's Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is probably, this isn't even just my bias. I think Kyle Pitts is the best tight end prospect ever. But call that bias, call it whatever you want. I don't think it's bias, but take it how you will. So, Pat, number 46, tight end. Hopefully, we solve our tight end issue. Now let's move on to 65. Greg Newsome, the second. I don't know much about Greg Newsome, but he's one of those mixed – because once you get past the top three corners, in my opinion, of Surtain, Farley, and Horn, once you get past them, it's kind of whoever – it's just a mix of a bunch of guys that could go in random order. There's no really solidified 4, 5, 6, no specific. So I picked Greg Newsome because I think he was the best corner available at the time. I think he was also a position. I think he was the best position available too.
Available.
I can't speak.
Yeah.
I'm having issues today.
Yeah, Greg Newsome was a beast for Northwestern, but I've actually seen him getting some first round buzz by certain mock drafters too.
Yeah, I've seen that too, and I think he's pretty good on the outside, which would be interesting because he's not a slot corner.
I think he'd be good to back up Sydney and CJ, considering both of them got hurt last year. So
yeah, I think so. And obviously, we need cornerback. We can figure out slot elsewhere. I think Trey Herndon did good in. Why do I keep saying slot? Nickel. It's because I'm used to talking about. I like offense. I'm an offensive guy. That's why I keep saying slot. But I'm just gonna keep saying slot. Screw it.
I use both. It doesn't matter to me. It's the same thing.
Exactly. So basically, he's our slot cornerback is going to be Trey Herndon, most likely. He's pretty good there. So Greg Newsome fills a hole, especially if somebody gets hurt. And I think he's going to be a beast too. Let's go ahead and move on to 105. Andre Cisco, safety. Like I said, I like safety. I think we need a safety. Cisco is the best safety on the board. He's a ball hawk. He actually had the most interceptions of any player in college football in the past couple of years. Obviously, when you're a ball hawk, that does kind of mean you get really beat sometimes because you attack the ball, and then that kind of kills you. That's one of Cisco's issues. Cisco, he has to work on that. But I think he's a ball hawk. He's great. I think he could be a great safety if he's worked on well. He was the best safety available, and it was also another one of the best players available at the time. So then we move on to 129, Ronnie Perkins, edge. I believe, was he at the Senior Bowl? Ronnie Perkins, I've heard his name for a while as an edge, and I think he could be good, but he could also be a really good rotational depth piece. Obviously, we need help on the edge because our pass rush last year was bad. But obviously, going into 2021, we are going to have Josh Allen back. Chasen's hopefully developing. Devon Hamilton will be back. Hopefully a free agent signing or two, and all these guys we're drafting. So I think the defensive line could be really good next year, and I think Ronnie Perkins would help the rotation. Moving on to 144, Trey Sermon, running back, Ohio State. Everybody's probably wondering why he goes so late because of how he did. Recency bias makes everybody think he's a super good running back going high, which I think he's a good running back, but I think he's going to be a later round pick. And I picked him up because I think he's going to be a good guy to back up James Robinson if we don't get Jamal Williams or somebody else. Because we cannot give James Robinson every carry. He's not going to last long. Running backs that do that don't last long enough unless you're built like Derrick Henry. So I think we need to get some help for James Robinson. I think Trey Sermon there is probably the best possible situation besides maybe signing Jamal Williams. I think Trey Sermon is probably the best thing he can get because he's really
Do
fast.
both. Do both.
Do
Jamal
both,
Williams.
yeah.
Jamal Williams can catch.
That's true. And Trey Sermon, he's fast. He's fast. He could be that home run guy. And then 169. This is a pick that first off, nice. But this is a pick that Shawn, Brian, all three of us, we've kind of thought about it, talked about it. We haven't talked about it too much, but we have had our moments where we've talked about it, and we all kind of have a consensus opinion on Brady Christensen. He's from BYU. He was the tackle protecting Zach Wilson. He had a fantastic year. He was dominant, and his only issue, it was the same reason people didn't like Zach Wilson for so long. His opponents are trash. North Alabama.
But when you dominate on a consistent basis, that's what you want to see when you're playing trash people.
Exactly.
He dominated. Didn't he have like the best pass blocking grade?
He had like a 96 something protection rating by PFF, and dude
is insane. He's going to be good, I believe.
He has good size. He was dominating, and if he falls this far just because of his opponents he played, give me him, because I think this could be the steal of the draft. That's not a skill position, obviously, because
let him sit behind Trent for 3 years.
Exactly, and then just because he'll be cheap, so you're not sitting somebody expensive like Jalen Mayfield necessarily. You're just sitting him. He could really grow too. Like, I just think that's a great position. That's a great position, obviously, because it's a tackle. That's a great pick there. I think he could be really helpful for the future when Trent is done. And I think just the value of that pick. Then I rounded it off at 225 or 225 and 246, both wide receivers, because these are really late picks. These are just kind of where you go for guys that you think might have a shot to compete, be something good. Because Frank Darby, he went to the Senior Bowl. He did really good at the Senior Bowl in the practices. It's kind of what made his name popped in my head, so I picked him. And then as a Florida fan, I think Trayvon Grimes. I mean, it's a 246. It's kind of a crapshoot that you pick somebody and you hope they work out. I think Trayvon Grimes, he could be good. He embarrassed Patrick Surtain. He's got to work on the routes. He's great size. I mean, he reminds me of Colin Johnson, if we're honest here. He's a little bit shorter. He's like an inch shorter than Colin Johnson, but same kind of thing. Big receiver, dominates on 50-50 balls. He's got to work on catching the ball, though. He has too many drops. Yeah, I think he could be good if he figures out the hands and works on not running routes so stiff. But yeah, those last two picks are kind of crapshoots, hoping that they could turn out to be somebody, and they could. I mean, we saw Colin Johnson in the fifth. I mean, fifth round's less of a crapshoot than the seventh is. But yeah, that is mine. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. You can announce yourself.
Yeah, these are my picks. It's cut off at the bottom, so we're going to do a second picture. Trevor Lawrence, obviously, is my first pick. It's a no-brainer. He's the best quarterback in the draft, best quarterback in the last 10
Why not
years.
Why not Zach Wilson?
Because Zach Wilson is good, but he's not worth the number one pick.
Okay, I just had.
I love Zach Wilson.
He's worth it in any other draft but this one.
Yeah, he's worth it in any draft but this one. If this was last year or next year, he'd be number one pick.
He's basically Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow would be Zach Wilson. If Joe Burrow was in this draft, Trevor Lawrence would probably still go 1, and Joe Burrow would go 2, like Zach Wilson.
Yep.
Same concept.
Exactly. Yeah. So Trevor Lawrence, no-brainer. Future of the franchise. You could say this is a reach, but Josiah obviously is very thrilled by this, but it's not a reach. He played like a bat out of hell, Kadarius Toney.
He's an alien.
He's unhuman. I don't think he's human. I think he's inhumane completely. If that even makes sense, inhumane.
Inhumane? You mean inhuman?
He's inhumane, yes, to the DBs. What are you talking about, Shawn?
Yeah, there we go. Thank you for saving me. Yeah, Kadarius Toney would be an absolutely incredible change of pace type of wide receiver. He'd be a great slot receiver, running those freaking slant routes, just zigging around everybody.
Slot is the spot for Kadarius Toney. If you need a slot wide receiver in the first round, take Kadarius Toney, because he's Laviska Shenault is who people think is a slot receiver. Sorry to cut you off, but people think he's a slot receiver. But no, you need to run Laviska deep.
Yep.
Kadarius Toney can run deep, fine, but putting him in the slot, giving him the slant routes, the short routes, all that kind of stuff, slot
His
receivers
short
do.
area quickness is so elite.
And then his yards after the catch, because he's not human. He can the way he runs with the ball looks so funny, but the way he jukes people, somebody's gonna tear an ACL trying to tackle him, bro.
You've got Shawn. You're not Shawn. You've got Josiah over here fanboying about Tony. But
I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you pronounce this next one.
Trevon Moehrig.
Trayvon Merrig.
What?
Trayvon Merrig.
No way.
Trayvon Merrig.
I watch a lot of mock drafts on YouTube.
Shawn is capping right now.
Okay, it's Trayvon Merrig.
Anyways, he's regarded as one of the better safeties in the class. He ended up falling to the second round, so I instantly picked him up because we need a safety. And obviously everything in my expectations is not guaranteed to happen. So I'm kind of basing it off of if something happens or if it doesn't happen, blah, blah, blah. Trayvon Merrig was a option, and I was like, yes, instantly. Think he'd be a great addition to our secondary. And then another one that I'm pretty sure everyone has at 45 or 33 is Pat Freiermuth.
Ignore me being an idiot, guys. Sorry, I was muting myself off and on because I was about to say something, and then I accidentally closed the video, so you just saw me for a second. Yeah, I think Moehrig. How do you say it again, Shawn?
Merrig.
I think Merrig fell to the 33 just because same concept as what's it called? How am I already forgetting my draft pick? But the defensive tackle, just because safeties aren't the best, they don't have the most value.
Yeah,
Plus,
running backs to the defense.
Exactly,
Yep.
like Shawn said, running back to the defense, and he's not an incredible oh my gosh, but he is the best safety in the draft.
Yeah, and he's somebody that would be an instant upgrade in our defense and would be a great help for the team. Freiermuth, as you know, writing's on the wall. We got his tight end coach. He endorsed him immediately. If he's at 46, you better believe that tight end coach is going to be, we need Freiermuth now! And okay, we're taking Freiermuth. Jason Owe, it's definitely Owe. I have no idea who that is. I just saw an edge.
No way he fell to 65.
Okay, apparently he's good. So, yeah, he did.
He's one of the better edges in the draft.
Well, he dropped, and I picked him up.
I can see him falling that far. I think you're thinking of Joseph Osai.
Yeah, I picked him up. I know we need edge help, and, getting an edge guy never hurts. Marvin Wilson, I'm pretty familiar with him. FSU, drop-off year this year, multiple reasons. Poor old D-line. I think he also had some injuries, if I'm not mistaken. But he had a drop-off. But, hey, doesn't mean anything for us. Just because he dropped off doesn't mean
the injury probably saved his capital a little bit, if we're honest here. He was bad this year, but obviously,
debatable.
To be honest, Josh Allen wasn't good this year either for the same excuses. So
I think Marvin Wilson would be a steal in the third round. Is that the third round? I think it is.
Fourth round, I think.
The fourth round? Yeah. That'd be a good steal in the fourth round if he drops that far. I think it'd be a big, good pickup. Trey Sermon, recency bias, he was balling out. But, again, good value there for running back. We need a second running back for our lovely spinner, a.k.a. James Robinson. And that's even with Jamal Williams. We could have 3 running backs on the roster. We'd be good to go. Unfortunately, Armstead's probably not coming back. I love him, but he's probably not going to be coming back, especially with COVID. And he's been in there twice, yada, yada, yada. Everybody else, I don't really know.
I'm going to cut you off real quick just to say good guy Matt Stafford. He and his wife just donated $1 million to a new education center in Detroit as a final goodbye. So let's give Matt Stafford a good guy round of applause. All right, sorry, just had to get that out there.
That's cool. Trey, the rest of these guys, I don't know who they are. I just know that we needed some depth.
Trey Brown, Oklahoma.
Okay. Cordell Volson.
No idea.
Offensive tackle depth. And then Jake Curran.
No idea.
Depth at O-line. So,
who was your other pick, by the way?
Oh, you have the screenshot, don't you?
Okay, I guess I got to look on Twitter.
Because
he could, for some reason, not fit it all in one screen, which, thank you. Okay, it's Chris Rumpf the second edge. Again, I have no idea who that is.
Oh, I know who that is. That guy has high upside.
Okay, that's good. If high upside at the last
High
pick of the
upside.
draft.
Yeah, he's edge, right? Or
Yeah.
outside linebacker or some shit.
Edge.
He can play 3-4 outside linebacker. That's where he's schematically fits in.
Okay, so Brian actually made a random pick that worked out.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to the next mock draft. For some reason, I didn't mean to put him in last, but he just ended up last again.
It's all good. All right. So, shocker. Trevor Lawrence, number 1. Best player in the draft, generational prospect, yada, yada, yada. I know everybody's tired of hearing it.
Yep.
Trevor Lawrence, number 1. Easy pick. Okay, I actually went Christian Barmore at 25. I think he is worth a first-round grade. I've seen mock drafts with him going as high as 14 before. I think as we get closer to draft season, people will realize how good he is. He really turned it on late in the season for Alabama. He was probably one of the best defenders in the nation at that point. So, yeah, you get him. I'm thinking we're going to a 3-4. I'm plugging him at left end in that if you think of like the Rams defense and like that Michael Brockers kind of role. So I think that's well worth pick 25. Tevin Jenkins. He's kind of been rising lately on a lot of draft boards.
A lot of people have him going to the Bears at 20.
Plays for Oklahoma State, I believe.
Yeah, he does.
He's a right tackle all the way. This isn't a guy you're grooming to play after Trent Williams is gone. This is a guy who's going to come in, compete, and probably beat Jawan Taylor, in my opinion. And then what happens with Jawan Taylor? He could either be a swing tackle, probably, maybe move inside, back up. I don't know.
Could go to guard, and we could replace AJ Cann.
Could trade him. Not in my scenario, you're not, because that's going to be Brendan Linder.
Yep, that's true.
You could trade him. Probably trade him. Maybe somebody will be into that. Try to a reclamation project. Okay, 46. I did not go Pat Freiermuth. I went for Trevon Merrick here, or Trayvon Merrick. Sorry. Good safety. I think I'll play him. I flirted with the idea of Javon Holland here. You could really pick either one. I don't think you could go wrong with those two. To me, they're graded very similarly. I only went with Merrick because I signed Malik Hooker, and I feel like Javon Holland, even though he's listed as a strong safety, I feel like he translates more to free safety. Not that that matters really in the Jaguar scheme. Well, I don't really know what scheme we're going to be having, but in the past schemes, we ran like 2 hybrid safeties, interchangeable, could play anywhere. I went Merrick just because, like I said, Javon Holland, I would play him where I'm going to play Malik Hooker at in my defense. But Javon Holland, you can't go wrong. Because Javon Holland also gives you slot corner flexibility or nickel corner flexibility, however you want to term it. But like I said, I got Trey Herndon. I feel pretty good about him right there. You could sign a backup later. 65, I went Paulson Adebo. I don't really know how to pronounce his name. He's an outside corner. He's going to be my depth behind. He's going to be my depth behind CJ and my insurance policy behind Sidney Jones. That makes sense. Just a guy who has outstanding ball skills. He's pretty fast. He'll be able to come in and either play behind Sidney Jones if he regresses or if he gets hurt, or CJ Henderson if he gets hurt again. But he could probably be a future starter on his team. I got Marvin Wilson at 105. I'm playing him at the other end spot in my 3-4. And to that D line with him.
Wait, so
Hamilton and Barmore.
Wait, Hamilton would be a nose tackle?
The nose, yes.
Okay.
So I got Hamilton at the nose. Marvin Wilson's playing, and the Aaron Donald role in my defense.
Those are some big boys, bro.
And Christian, hey, I'm tired of getting ran on, fam. Stop Derrick Henry at all costs.
You're stopping Derrick Henry with those 3.
Yo, Hamilton, Barmore, and Wilson. That's my D-line in the 3-4. Run on us if you can.
Alabama, Oklahoma. Why did I just say Oklahoma? Alabama, Ohio State, FSU.
Can't go wrong. 120, I got Ellerson Smith. I thought Ellerson Smith showed out at the Senior Bowl, in my opinion, especially in individual drills. I think he translates pretty well to an outside linebacker in a 3-4. He's probably he's like 6'4", 6'5", about 260. I think I'd play him behind Josh Allen. He'd be his backup / he could rotate every now and again. So you have, that gives you Josh Allen and Matt Judon / Chason / Kerrigan, whoever we end up signing at the other spot. I feel like you always want to keep those guys fresh and rotate them out pretty often. So that gives you a pretty strong pass rush, in my opinion. 144, I'm getting Cornell Powell. I'm getting a familiar face for Trevor Lawrence. I wanted to go Amari Rodgers really bad, but I was like, man, Samuel, Shenault, do we really need another guy who's similar in that play style? So I went with Cornell Powell, who's more of an outside threat. He's just a depth piece, in my opinion. Shakur Brown, he's a guy who can develop. He could play inside or outside. He's a guy who's going to develop. I play him behind Trey Herndon because I don't really think Josiah Scott and Chris Claybrooks are that good, to be honest. Tough Borland, that's my Urban Meyer beloved linebacker pick. I feel like he'll be pretty good to play or to develop as a 3-4 linebacker. He's your old school run stuffing 2-down linebacker. I feel like he'll be good to groom behind Schobert for when we eventually cut/trade Schobert, because I don't think Schobert's going to be around for his full contract.
Wait, so he's basically the same type as Shaq.
So
yeah, he's another quarterman, yeah.
So quick tidbit real quick. Asante Samuel just posted 5 hours ago. He got an invite to the Combine. I thought there wasn't a Combine.
They're doing virtual
They're
meetings
doing
and stuff.
virtual meetings, yeah.
Okay. All right. So he got invited to the scouting Combine. Amidst the global pandemic.
Oh, we actually get to watch Cornell Powell tomorrow morning as well.
Yeah. Cornell Powell's also going to be there. I'm excited to see him because I drafted him in my draft.
Yeah.
So tough Borland. Yeah, he's going to be the third or fourth linebacker in the 3-4. I feel like you're going to keep at least 4 inside linebackers. If you haven't caught on yet, Quincy Williams does not make my roster next year. I'm just going to cut ties with that pick. I thought it could work out. I just think it's a bad pick. He hasn't played good, honestly, when he's on the field. He's been hurt more often than not. So
I figured you were going to cut him with your reaction earlier about me saying we have Quincy Williams.
I just don't see where he fits, to be honest.
Oh, funny story. I was on Twitter the other day. I sent the tweet to the group chat. This guy was saying, should we trade Miles Jack to move up in the first round from 25, which that is mental illness right there.
No.
That's not how it works.
Your best defensive player.
But then somebody says, he's your best defensive player. And then they reply, we have Quincy Williams. We're fine. I'm like, this dude's got to be trolling.
And then my last pick, 246, is Tamarian Terry, FSU. That's a shout out to Gordo in the group chat. I did that one for him. He's a big on Terry. Honestly, Terry's not bad. He'll be a good guy to develop, probably put on the practice squad maybe for a year or two, and then see what he can do. But yeah, that's my draft. If they can't compete with the moves that I've made this offseason next year, then you ain't a good coach.
He could be our scary Terry.
Scary Terry.
All right, guys. So those are our mock drafts for the Jags. We're going to take one more break, and then it's going to be entire first-round mock draft. So, yeah, if you guys want to see our group first-round mock draft, stay tuned. We will draft for every single team.
Josiah is pick 1, Brian's pick 2, I'm pick 3, and it's going to keep alternating that way.
Yes, thank you, Shawn. Yeah, we're going to use the Draft Network, if you guys haven't figured out, that's what we're using. We're, again, doing no trades, unfortunately, because there are some spots that I think we pick trades, but we'll mention it.
I was hoping Watson would be traded by now because someone's getting a first-round pick this year.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a lot of people, they have the Jets going. I will bet money he's not going to the Jets, but we'll see you guys in a second. Wait, any funny thing?
Marco Wilson, you moron!
I hate it here.
Yes.
I hate it here.
I literally said Marco Wilson. Don't mess this up.
I hate it here.
If anybody doesn't understand what that means, go to his YouTube channel and watch the video.
You're probably watching this on my YouTube channel, so
yeah,
just go to my reaction videos.
Actually, and you'll understand why he did it.
Yeah, go to the LSU reaction video.
Shout out to his mom for adding a little tidbit at the end.
Yeah.
She was also a highlight as well.
What an idiot.
Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't also. But yeah, see you guys in a second. And we are back for the last time this podcast episode. It has been so fun. We've enjoyed this. But it is finally the time for all NFL fans. It is the entire first round mock draft from the Big Cat Chat podcast crew. gang, whatever you want to call us. So yeah, like Shawn said, it's going to start with me. I'm going to get pick 1. Shawn is pick 2. And then Brian is pick 3.
No, Brian's pick 2. I'm
I
pick
was
3.
pick 2.
Well, we're doing it in the order of us now. You see how we are stacked?
No, because everybody's different.
Yeah, I'm on top.
Yeah.
You're in the middle,
Okay.
I'm on the bottom.
Well, for me, Shawn is in the middle, so Shawn's going second.
Oh, man, I didn't plan for this, but okay.
You actually planned for the teams you were picking?
No, that's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, because I didn't. But
No, it's fine.
so yeah, it's going to be me, Shawn, Brian, and
Oh, you got the easy one, so get it over with.
All right, so okay, let me go Zach Wilson, right there. Just kidding.
I would
Trevor
have
Lawrence,
so
easy,
hard.
no question about it.
Okay, so this Jets pick 2. This is a trade up spot, but like I said, we're not doing trades. Although I believe if I was Carolina, I would trade up for this spot right here and take Zach Wilson. However, it's the Jets. Do I want to build around Sam Darnold or do I want to draft a quarterback? I've been an advocate for building around Sam Darnold, but
Would you?
man, Penei Sewell and Becton on the edges, but ugh.
I just moved our camera location.
Okay.
So
I'm going to throw a wrench, go off beat here. Everybody else is picking Zach Wilson to go here. I'm going to go Penei Sewell. They're going to believe in
I like
Sam
it.
Darnold, and they're going to have 2 bookend tackles for the next decade plus.
I love it. All right. The Dolphins.
it's Mr. Brian time.
You could go traditional, or I could throw
Brian
a little-
Zibaldi. If you
Yeah,
get the what's it called? Inside joke.
I could get really bold here. I really wanted to. See, the ideal pick would be Jamar Chase
Or
or Devontae Smith or even Jalen Waddle. But since it's the first draft and we're going to be doing multiple, we're going to throw a wrench into everybody's plan.
do it.
Select Zach Wilson.
Woo! Tua getting Rosened.
Let's do this. Sorry,
Give your-
Tua, you're out of here. Oh, yeah, I got to tell you why. Zach Wilson is an
Better
incredible
than
player.
Tua.
He
All right,
is
next
the second best quarterback in this draft, arguably the best quarterback last year, and he would definitely be the best next year. Only major problem is competition, but he's lighting up competition left and right. You could say
Competition doesn't determine accuracy. It doesn't
exactly,
determine
his
arm
accuracy
strength.
his accuracy is on point. He's got great arm strength. The only thing you could really knock him for is sometimes he throws some really bad throws that are like picked like
He
just
he gets too cute sometimes.
He sometimes underthrows on deep balls on the outside.
Underthrows on deep balls. He sometimes gets a little too cute with it. He tries to play hero ball, something Justin Fields needs to learn how to do more. But sometimes still Wilson tries to do too much with his arm, even sometimes with his legs. But that's pretty much one of his only issues. But I think it's a great pick for the Dolphins, and Tua gets traded elsewhere.
There's me sitting here with another easy pick, in my opinion, easy pick. The Falcons, I don't care if they're sticking with Matt Ryan. They're taking Justin Fields here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They're getting their QB of the future. Justin Fields is going to sit the year behind Matt Ryan. He's going to learn behind that veteran, and their team's going to get better for him. I mean, how much better can the offense get? They got weapons on weapons. They need more offensive line and running back, though, to be fair. But they could probably get that this draft. But that is besides the point. I think Falcons are getting their QB of the future. I'm not super high on Justin Fields, but he is my QB3. Some people may say Trey Lance, but not me. Sorry, Mason. But yeah, Shawn, it is on to you for the Bengals.
Who am I picking? Take a guess.
Jamar Chase.
We're Shawn
No.
Slater.
Bang! Josiah off the top rope. Get Burrow some help. He needs some protection, bud.
Some people say Rashawn Slater over Penei Sewell. Most people think Rashawn Slater is going to be better right now.
Yeah, Daniel Jeremiah thinks Slater is better than Sewell.
I think he did. Sewell has better upside for the long time, but Rashawn Slater is
Yes.
better right now. More refined.
Slater can also play anywhere on the line.
Mhm.
He can play all 5 spots.
Jonah Williams and Rashawn Slater as prospects, that's a pretty good couple tackles.
So we got the Eagles now. Scroll up a little bit. Is that the?
Oh. Maybe it's not one of these three. Maybe it's Kyle Pitts. Maybe it's Patrick Surtain.
I've seen Kyle Pitts go in some mock drafts on YouTube.
I have to.
Scroll down. Go to the wide receiver board for me. because they're picking wide receiver.
Do you really need to see more than the top 3 that are on the board just now?
It's the Eagles, absolutely.
What the heck is this board? Terrace Marshall above Kadarius Toney? Get out of here.
So usually the Eagles would be a pull a boneheaded move, and I still think they might.
Nah.
So
They're taking Terrace Marshall, aren't they?
No, they're going to take Jalen Waddle.
I don't hate it.
I mean,
over
to be
Jamar
fair,
Chase.
Jalen Waddle, on some people, like Bengal, if you guys know who he is, Jalen Waddle's his
Yeah.
number 1.
Jalen Waddle played with Hurts when he was at Alabama, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
Jalen Waddle's my
reason-
number 2. I
So
think
the reason-
Jalen Waddle. Do what?
So the reason I pick Waddle is, one, he's a great wide receiver. Is he the best available?
You could
Arguably,
argue.
yes.
You could argue. He's
You could
nice as
argue,
shit.
yes.
The difference between the top 3 is very little.
Yeah, but I think the Eagles finally make a decision that's reasonable. Who should have went before them, or who should have went first on the wide receiver board? I would argue Chase, but I'd say they made a decent choice here, a solid choice, but they could have done better by getting Chase, arguably. I didn't want to pull a Terrace Marshall because it's the 6th pick. I know they're silly, but they're not that stupid. Well, I mean, I gotta ask.
No, they're not.
So
I mean,
I
how
see
can
what
you
you're
mess
saying.
that up? How can you mess that up? If they take a wide receiver, they're fine. That's it.
yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
take one of the top 3 guys. You can't go wrong.
Yep.
Yeah, for me, Jalen Waddle's my number 2. People hate me for putting Jalen Waddle over Devontae Smith, but
He's
just
better.
look at
My
when they're
opinion.
on the same. Look at them when they're both on the field. That's all I gotta say. But it is now my pick. I am going to take Jamar Chase.
The Lions got to steal.
Easy.
Yeah. Lions
That's
at number
easy.
7.
Reads.
Lions at number 7, getting somebody who could go top 3. That
Oh, I was picking.
you know what that reminds me of? Somebody going who could go top 3 that was drafted at number 7. Any names?
Wait, what was the question?
Somebody who could have gone top 3 but ended up going on 7 specifically.
Jamar Chase to the Dolphins?
Oh,
No, I
Josh
was-
Allen.
Josh Allen, thank you.
Oh,
Ryan.
Josh Allen. Oh, you meant like before. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I meant before.
Yeah, Josh Allen.
So, Jamar Chase, best wide receiver in the class. He's the biggest. He's not the fastest, but he's the biggest. Second fastest. Jalen Waddle is faster by a mile, but I think Jamar Chase is more refined than Devontae Smith. I just think Jamar Chase is easily the best wide receiver on the board, and I think Lions getting Jared Goff, that weapon he needs.
He's like Jamar Chase is like the most complete wide receiver in
The Lions very well. I almost picked Trey Lance here, but Jamar Chase is too good to pass up.
Yeah, you can get somebody next year, or even get a mid-round guy. Like, just stick with Goff for a year or two. You've already pay him. If he doesn't work out, which they said that he is the future, then draft someone next year.
Trey Lance is more of a project, in my opinion, than Jamar
A
Chase
really
is.
high upside project.
Jamar Chase is almost a guarantee, in my opinion, compared. I say almost because to be honest, Corey Davis was a high pick, but he wasn't. Regardless, it is Shawn's turn for the
This one
Panthers.
is kind of
Go back
tough,
to
but
yeah.
this was kind of tough, but you click on the all.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do. I'm used to doing this on my phone.
This one's kind of tough, but this is definitely a Deshaun Watson trade scenario spot. However,
Yeah.
we can't do that. So I'm going to still go with a quarterback, and I'm going to give him Trey Lance to sit behind
Yes!
Bridgewater for a year or two.
Yes, I was
I-
hoping you did Trey Lance.
I agree with that pick by a mile.
He's going to sit
Oh, I
behind.
love that
He's going to
pick.
sit behind Bridgewater for a year or two. I believe they
Yes.
still have Bridgewater under contract for 2 more years. So
Yes.
And
Year or
Broncos
two.
fans
Sorry.
throw a fit. Broncos
That's-
fans are throwing a fit
Yeah,
right
they are
now.
furious right now. All right.
I like Locke because he's cool.
Because all right, so I'm gonna do something. I'm between 2 people right now, and their biggest needs are obviously defense. So it's between an edge rusher and a cornerback. Quiddy Payne or Quiddy Pay right now.
Okay.
Now,
That one's interesting, but I'll let you give
and
your
I'll tell you
reason.
why. They are struggling on the edge. They need help for Von Miller.
They just cut AJ Boye.
I know,
I'm not sure that Quiddy Pay can stand up.
but they can get some help in the second round. Quiddy Pay is a great edge, and I think he'd be great on that defensive line.
I'm not sure he can stand up.
Something they could find out. But are they a 3? They're a 3-4, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm going to stick with it.
Personally, I think Caleb Farley
That's
It's
what I would have
just-
picked. Yep.
That's what I would have picked. But
Caleb
I'm
Farley
gonna-
is the most beautiful. Like, his name just fits for Denver. His
Yeah.
school, his college fits Denver. Just the colors, like
The only reason I did Quiddy Pay is because
The
the
system,
Broncos aren't the best with drafting, except recently they picked Judy, but I feel like they
got a new GM.
Yeah, there you go. Everybody pulls a surprise, and I think they pull a surprise with Quiddy Pay.
I mean, I don't hate. I mean, maybe he can stand up. Maybe he can't. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe he
we'll
can
find out,
learn.
but yeah, exactly. You're learning. Von Miller's your guy, your mentor. Like,
I mean, we saw Shaq Barrett behind.
yeah, exactly.
All
But-
right.
It is now
Josiah.
I forget it's my turn.
Yep.
God. This
Cowboys.
should be an obvious pick, Josiah.
I
It
mean,
really should.
the Cowboys, they're so annoying because let's be honest here. Jerry Jones is whack. Jerry Jones could very easily take Devontae Smith or Kyle Pitts here because he
Good.
wants that abundance of riches like he did take CD Lamb. But there's no logical
see it.
reason.
I can't
There's
see
no
it.
No, there's no point now.
The only one he'd take possibly would be
no.
Kyle Pitts because they'd have 4 wide receiver ones.
I can see that.
But Kyle Pitts would make sense if it's Jerry Jones wanting an abundance of riches.
You,
But I'm going
you're not
Caleb
gonna.
Farley.
You're not gonna. So you're not gonna do that to Kyle Pitts.
Wow,
Hey,
I would've-
gang, gang.
wow. I would
Caleb
have.
Farley is my cornerback 1.
Hey, he's my CB1 too.
I would have said. I would have thought they picked Certain. I'm surprised. with that
Surtain.
one.
Nah, I think Surtain's stock dropped just below Farley in that Alabama Florida game. Just saying.
All right.
All right.
I say that because
See, if I didn't pick Pay here, I bet Shawn would have picked Pay at the Giants.
No, I have a pick here. I've always
Oh.
had.
I know this pick should be easy, but we'll see
This
what
will be-
Shawn does.
Controversial because of some recent allegations. Micah Parsons.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I'm actually surprised.
There it is.
I thought New York needed a wide receiver, and Devontae Smith was or Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts could replace Evan Ingram. I mean, those two are.
They
just
do
so-
need offense. I just think Micah Parsons, without the allegations, is like literally a top 5 player in this draft.
Yeah.
He's a
And
top 5
this
talent.
is where Surtain goes. He's going to the 49ers
He's right,
because
too. Easy.
they need a cornerback. He's got some
Easy.
upside. He's got
He fits that
potential.
scheme so
It
well.
fits the scheme. Yep. It's an easy pick. Josiah?
Yeah.
This would also be an easy pick
This
for
one's
me.
easy. I'm taking Sam. Actually, wait. Kyle Pitts could go
Ooh.
here.
They don't need a tight end.
He
Yeah.
could because
Hunter Henry's gone.
Hunter
What do you
Henry's
mean?
a free agent.
Yeah, but they gotta help.
Yeah, I'm taking Cosme.
Yeah, they gotta help.
It's
Ooh,
between him or
um,
Darisaw.
I would have went Darisaw, but that's not.
Yeah,
over
I'm
there.
very close on Darisaw and Cosme.
And
but-
here we are with the Vikings, man.
Oh my.
The Vikings, because I follow some Vikings fans on Twitter, and they change their opinion like every single day. Like I've seen Kyle Pitts, Devontae Smith,
No,
offensive
I'm not
line. I've seen literally everybody.
Offensive
go to
line,
them.
yes. Offensive line reeks. Give me a guy who played tackle last year, but can play inside as well. Elijah Vera Tucker. USC.
Yes,
Oh, that sounds like a Vikings pick.
they do need a
Ooh,
guard.
the
They have
Patriots? Oh no.
This is gonna be Pitts all day. If you don't pick Pitts, you're lying to yourself.
Devontae Smith though. Devontae Smith is there.
No, because this is Pitts all day long.
Josiah, I hate to say
It's
it.
the easy read.
Josiah, I'm sorry, but do it.
I don't want Kyle
Easy.
Pitts to go to that lame
Sorry.
organization.
I'm sorry, Josiah.
Nobody
I'm
has
sorry!
fun there.
I had no choice.
Nobody has fun there. He deserves to have
guess what?
fun.
I'm sorry, but that's
Look
where
at
he's
Tom
going.
Brady when he's in Florida compared to when he was in Boston. He's
I'm
having
sorry.
fun.
It's Cam Newton season. It's different now up there.
Josiah, you're back on the board.
Oh, I'm back on the
Easy.
board.
Well, hold on a
Easy
second. The
reads, man.
fact that Devontae Smith has dropped as far as one, it's not surprising because at the end of the day, a Heisman hype, recency bias, he's good, but his frame is very, very, very concerning.
I think his build is gonna slightly throw some teams off. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
Mhm.
He won't
I'm
last
taking
much longer.
J.C. Horn.
Yeah, no, he's not going to go.
Woo! Yes, sir.
J.C. Horn, okay.
I think Cardinals need a cornerback bad. They're
Yeah,
not
they
they're
do.
not getting what's his name? Who are they getting rid of?
Pat Pete.
Yeah, Pat
P2.
Peterson. He's not coming back. They need a corner. Their cornerback group is trash. I mean, they could
He
very
fits-
well.
Yeah, he fits that
If-
scheme to a T.
For some reason, I know we can't trade, but if for some reason Smith dropped this far,
Somebody's
No,
trading
someone's trading up. Someone's
I
trading
would
up.
I would call them up.
The
to trade.
Jaguars are trading up.
I would call up quickly and be like, "Hey, let's trade picks. I'm
I
taking.
swear
some
we're
team. I'll
not
take
we're
Devontae
not
Smith."
forcing Devontae Smith to fall to the Jags.
These are
It's
just ideal
just
picks. that can-
happened.
Yeah,
He's not gonna make it past
20.
18, maybe. 18, maybe.
At the
Yeah, I
least.
got J.C. Horn going to the Cardinals. He's the best.
Oh, the Dolphins pick again. That's right.
He's my CB3. They need
Who'd
a
you
cornerback
have-
badly. I could see Devontae
Who did-
Smith going here because they do need another wide receiver on top of DeAndre Hopkins.
Devo-
Because Larry Fitzgerald is Larry Fitz even signed?
He's not responded. He said he's not sure they're gonna retire yet, so they might still have him.
Yeah, he might retire. He might
We have the
not.
Raiders, by the way.
Then Andy Isabella is trash. Hot trash.
I have the
He's
Raiders. I have the Raiders.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
yeah, he's talking about his last pick.
Oh, okay.
Andy Isabella is just speed, and then Christian Kirk is
Christian Kirk is all right.
Christian Kirk's a
He's solid.
3 in my opinion, not a
All
2.
right, Raiders 17. Give me Joke Jeremiah Owusu Koromoa.
I like how you pronounced it properly. That's crazy. Reasoning?
Linebacker. He's the best linebacker on the board. He's a size 9 guy, hard hitter, great coverage skills, can blitz. Do you need any more reasons?
No. So argument could be made here. They go running back because they have a big need at running back. However,
No.
Nah, you're taking Devontae Smith.
Devontae
Taking
Smith.
Devontae Smith.
Yep.
Easy pick.
The reason why, see, I would have had Devontae Smith possibly at 3, but I went Zach Wilson.
This is hilarious. If everybody has the Dolphins taking Devontae Smith at 3, imagine they get him at 18 instead.
It never happened. Someone will trade up, but I mean,
Yeah.
Exactly.
it's just the way the board fell right now.
Yeah. All right, it's back to me.
Ooh.
I got Washington. This
Mac
one's
Jones.
interesting.
No.
I'm going to go offensive tackle because I think they
Yes.
can get better wide receiver value in the second than they can get offensive tackle value in the second. Darisaw is arguably the third best tackle in the class. Shawn thinks he's third. I think he's fourth. So I think that's a great pick there. It's best available unless it fits.
and it's a good pick if
it fits
you
them.
Alex Smith.
Their two biggest
Alex
needs,
Smith.
in my opinion, besides quarterback, are offensive line and wide receiver.
Chicago.
And then get plenty. Chicago Bear fans are probably pissed at that pick too.
Oh no, because they are going to lose Allen Robinson, and they're going to replace him with Allen Robinson 2.0 and Rashad Bateman.
Ooh, I like that.
I know your wide receiver 4 is Rashad Bateman.
Ooh, I got the Colts. Oh my goodness.
Don't you screw them because you hate them. Be
I know
realistic.
this. I think
I
this
know,
is an easy
I know.
pick.
I don't.
Who's on the board? Scroll down a little
Based
bit.
off the current board, I think it's
receiver.
easy.
Wide receiver. Is any wide receivers? I didn't see any.
Wide receiver, Terrace Marshall. I mean, Terrace Marshall's a bit high on this board, in my opinion.
He might be like a couple spots too high in my
You
opinion.
want to look at
yeah.
wide receiver? There's your wide
Ready
receivers.
for- Go to QB.
QB? Did you say QB?
Ready for a shocker? Kyle Trask.
No, don't do that to them.
Yeah. I think they picked Kyle Trask. I feel like they see some.
Oh, they're gonna take. Dude, they're gonna take quarterback. They're gonna take Mac Jones. Why'd you do that?
I would. I'll leave that for another day. But I'm gonna pull some surprises here. I
The
think
second
they
he
picked
said
that.
the second he said quarterback and surprise, I
I
knew
know,
he
I
was
knew.
going.
I
I
knew
knew he was
too.
going for my boy.
And
we
I
gotta
hate
go.
it.
We gotta pull some surprises here. We gotta pull some first round shockers.
You just screwed the Colts because you don't like them.
Titans
No, I
easy
don't-
pick.
I- if
Titans
I-
are taking
I don't
Osai.
like- Yeah, if I was the Titans, I would have screwed them.
That's the
somehow, but-
easiest pick ever. You just
Titans needing an
Oh.
edge. He's the best edge on the board. Gregory Rousseau slightly,
Oh,
not
man.
slightly. Gregory Rousseau is
What a-
overrated in most people's opinions.
But they do need a wide receiver too.
I totally
They do need a wide
picked-
receiver, but what do you mean? They have. I mean, re-sign Corey Davis possibly.
Doubt it.
Man,
Or
so
free
I
agency.
had them pick a tackle. They could definitely take
What
Mac
if they
Jones
took
here.
Jalen Phillips instead of Russo?
They could
Oh,
definitely.
also, wait, before you go, I just want to say something. I noticed this earlier. They could go wide receiver, but edges. All the players who had the most pressures, most sacks, and everything, they're all first round edges.
Yeah.
Hey,
First
go to
round
wide.
edges.
Go to wide receiver.
First round edges have more
Oh, that's
value
it, that's it.
than first round wide receivers, in my
Oh,
opinion.
no.
Let me give Sam Darnold, Kadarius Toney.
Oh my gosh, that
Wow.
Dude, think about how much time he's gonna have to throw to this guy. He's
That's
got,
true.
Kadarius
Right
Toney's
back
open
in.
in like 2 seconds.
but yeah, he's got Becton and Sewell now.
What a
And Kadarius Toney,
pick.
yo, they're going all in on Sam
That's a
Darnold,
great.
baby.
That's a great first round for the Jets. Jeez.
All in on Sam Darnold, baby. I don't care.
Well, Since I'm picking, they don't need an edge.
Speak up a little bit.
Keep in mind, Alejandro Villanueva is a free agent left tackle.
He sucks anyways.
Well,
Oh, man.
they got to replace him.
Scroll down a little bit, just slightly.
Oh, you want your offensive tackles? I forgot about Eichenberg. We were
Ready
so
for
high
a
on
little
Eichenberg.
Only one of those guys is a left
Okay,
tackle.
are you ready for a bit of a surprise here?
Oh
Another
god,
surprise. Mac Jones.
I can see it.
It's not really.
Mac Jones. They get their predecessor. Very similar style.
Big Ben is gonna be pissed off if he takes a pay cut to come back and they pick a damn quarterback in the first round. I
Hey,
know it.
Do it.
There's been rumors that they
I know.
like Kyle Trask.
I know. I just think
Kyle
Big Ben
Trask is
gonna be
literally Big
pissed.
Ben. Big Ben and Kyle Trask.
Oh, look who gets the Jaguars pick. You.
Yeah,
Oh,
'cause
I
he
get
has-
both
'cause
of
he has
them.
the first pick.
Oh my God.
This is why I had to pick Tony, dog.
I'm going to
cow.
go for
You know who's still available? Look who's still available at the
Look.
top.
the guy who I already picked. What,
Oh.
Najee Harris? You think I'm going Najee Harris?
No. Rousseau is still. Rousseau.
Nah, I don't want
I'm
Russo.
I'm not big on Russo, to be honest.
No.
Russo is a massive project. He's
He's a
new
pro-
to the
yeah.
he's new to the position, and he's just not very good at it right now. His numbers are misleading,
Ugh.
and
Honestly, if we were at 25, depending on what we did in free agency,
I'm
I'd-
taking one of the tackles, and like I already took, Liam Eichenberg.
He's
I was
stuck.
really high on Eichenberg, but I'm taking Mayfield.
Yeah, I'm taking somebody to
He's a
compete.
safe pick.
Were
Him
you
or
taking
Jenkins?
Jenkins?
All right, scroll
No,
up.
I would take Barmore there. That's me.
Go ahead and select Gregory Rousseau real quick for me. Perfect. They need an edge rusher on the opposite side. There we go.
Woo!
Finally got
He
him off
actually-
the board.
That was actually my pick, but it's cool.
No, the
That
Browns-
was my pick, but that's cool.
Oh, it was? Oh, shit.
That's fine. I wanted the Ravens pick anyway. Scroll over to inside
Sorry.
offensive line, please.
My bad. Hey, we're adding some humor to the show, so it's okay.
The
Sorry
Ravens
about
had arguably some of the worst center play in the league last year.
He looked like a high school center with the amount of snaps going over Lamar's head.
We're going Creed Humphrey, Oklahoma.
He had a great Senior Bowl.
Ooh.
Best center in the draft. Now, this is going to be Josiah's pick, and then my pick is next, Brian. Don't forget.
Sorry.
Landon
okay,
Dickerson's Landon Dickerson is a really good center too.
He is
I
too, but he has
agree.
injuries.
Yeah, I was going to say injuries. So we have the Saints. I was going to go quarterback, but there's no
there.
quarterbacks left.
They're going to run it with Winston, bud.
Yeah,
Right,
that's the
that's true.
reports.
Yeah, I think they're going to go for, actually.
They do need
Yeah, I'm
a
going to go
linebacker.
Terrace Marshall.
Ooh,
Oh.
I would have went. I thought you were going to go Zayvon Collins to replace Bud
Shawn,
Dupree.
the floor is yours. Apologies.
I thought about it. I was very close to taking Zayvon Collins, but I think Terrace
man.
Marshall, he's going to stay in Louisiana. I think it's just a good fit.
I would absolutely love to give Aaron Rodgers a weapon here. I would. I
But
really
you're going
would.
Zayvon Collins.
No, I'm not. However, I would have picked Terrace Marshall here if he was going to be there to
Smart.
give him a weapon. However, go to corners for me
Oh, I'm glad he's picking a corner. They need
because Kevin King got #roasted. Asante Samuel Jr. I think is more of a nickel. Aaron Robinson he could do both. Ifeatu Melifonwu has been getting a lot of hype recently.
Yeah, he has.
I'm just not a fan of this. Their board is so wonky to me how they have the rankings.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm a fan of Eric.
actually gonna go Greg Newsome here. He's been getting a lot of first round buzz.
I got him at like 65 in mine.
That's what I'm saying. I don't like the way the board is on here. I think Greg Newsome is getting first round buzz. I think he was borderline shut down for Northwestern this year.
Go to
Gave Justin Fields.
big
Justin
board.
Fields couldn't do nothing.
Go to the all board, all teams board.
This is the all.
This is the all teams board.
Oh, okay.
I know who I would go here.
Give me Zayvon Collins, Tulsa, small school, Buffalo. Pretty sure they like the small schools. They've got a good defense. He'd be a good fit for them.
They got to replace Matt Milano.
Yep. I think that'd be a good option.
Ooh,
Nice small
Chiefs.
school option. There you go.
This is the easiest
wide
pick
receiver.
of your existence, Sean.
That's funny because it's your pick.
Oh wait, they're going.
Is it really? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know why. Yep.
Your pick,
Oh my
your pick,
gosh.
bud.
They're going offensive line.
I mean, Mitchell Schwartz is getting kind of old.
Yeah,
for a
Mitchell
right
Schwartz,
tackle,
but I think
he still plays at a high level.
they could use a guard, but they could also use a tackle. I'm going to go tackle, though. Tackle has more value.
Holmes outside, yep. Kevin Jenkins. Yeah.
All right, actually, it's Shawn's pick now. For the final
What
pick
do
of the draft.
I want to do to run it back for Brady? Let's see here. I feel like they're going to bring back Shaq Barrett. I feel like they're going to bring back Chris Godwin. They're going to lose Ndamukong Suh, probably, maybe. He might come back cheap. What do I want
already
to
came
do
back
here?
cheap last year.
So I'm saying, what do I want to do here? Brady's interior
Are they bringing
offensive
back
line
Leonard Fournette?
is suspect. Even if they don't, I think they still have Rojo for another couple years.
I know, I'm just kidding. Rojo's better than Fournette.
Who's their right tackle?
I have no idea.
Jalen Phillips can definitely play in a 3-4. However, like I said, I think they're bringing Barrett back, and they still have JPP. Their offensive line, they do need help. Who is their right tackle?
I'll Google it.
Their left tackle is Donovan Smith, and he's honestly not that great either. Leatherwood wouldn't be a bad pick because he can play anywhere on that line.
Yep.
There's not any interior defensive lineman that I want.
Their right tackle is worse is their right tackle.
Oh, yeah, he's good.
Oh, Works is the right tackle? Then who's the left tackle?
Donovan Smith.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, their tackles are
No,
fine.
Donovan Smith is okay.
Oh. Honestly, I would take Leatherwood if I were you.
I might go Leatherwood here because he can play inside, and you got to keep Brady up, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I know their O-line kind of dominated in that game against Kansas City, but Brady was under pressure a lot. So, yeah, Leatherwood is going to be the guy.
Now, this is a recap of our draft right here. Now, you guys might hate it because there are some very surprises, but this is Big
That's
Cat
the fucking
Chat
draft.
mock number 1.
1.0.
Second.
Oh.
2-round mock coming next.
Ooh.
Oh, is it really? Okay. Are we
Brian's
changing
like,
up
that's new. Brian was like, oh, that's news to me.
News to
It
me.
is. It is.
I like it, though. It's good news.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are
so
we
next
keeping the same? Are we keeping the same order? Or
Yeah, that's fine.
Next
good.
episode, we're going to do a 2-round mock draft. Hopefully some trades will happen so that we don't, like if the Jets trade for Watson or some garbage.
Let me just say that if the Jets get this draft here, man, oh, my God.
yeah.
If Sam Darnold can get his act together.
Oh my God.
And don't they have what's the linebacker?
Mind you, they still have a top 2 pick in the next round, and both running backs are still on the board.
Who's the linebacker that opted out for them? Their middle linebacker.
Oh, dude from the Ravens, bro.
Yeah. He's really good.
Oh, my God, his name is blanking right now.
Exactly. That's why I'm asking.
Linebacker for the Ravens.
He opted out, but he was one of the biggest opt-outs.
Yeah, he was one because he was a big signing. I can't remember his name. The name escapes me.
Yeah, but you guys know who we're talking about. So the Jets, they could be fairly good next year if their coaching hires work out.
Hold on. They also traded for Avery Williamson, didn't they?
Avery Williamson. No, they traded him
C.J.
away.
Mosley. C.J. Mosley.
C.J. Mosley. They traded Avery Williamson away to the Steelers.
Oh, gotcha. So, yeah, C.J. Mosley.
Shawn, which pick, if you could change any pick from somebody else, from like Brian or I, which would you change?
I know what he's going to change.
I would take out Kwity Paye.
Yep.
I was going to say that.
And
I'd
I
put
would
Caleb
give
Farley.
the Broncos Caleb Farley, and then the Cowboys would take Surtain.
Yeah. For me, I'd say I'd probably change.
Kyle Trask.
Yeah, I'd probably take. I don't think Kyle Trask is going to Indianapolis. Like I'm a Florida fan, but I don't think he's going.
I think
there.
they're going to get Carson Wentz.
I think I'd switch Indy and Pittsburgh, the quarterbacks, because I think Mac Jones will go before him, whether I like it or not. Whether I think Kyle Trask is better or not, I think Mac Jones will go first. Especially, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers do like Kyle Trask, so that'd be my change. And Brian, which pick would you change?
Scroll up. Oh, it has to be up, not me. Yeah, start from the beginning.
Peneso.
Falcons.
that'd be an easy change.
I would swap out the Falcons and I'd give them Trey Lance, and then I would say Justin Fields. Scroll down, goes to Carolina. Yep.
Easy reads.
All right, so that is the draft, guys. It's back to just us. Hope you did enjoy this episode of Big Cat Chat. We're having so much fun. We're having so much fun recording it. It gets better every time, no matter how dumb we sound at times. Like I couldn't speak half the episode. But yeah, hopefully with the off season,
my beard gets longer. We're all having a good time.
Yeah, just every time you watch, keep in mind his beard so you can just see the change.
Next time it might be gone.
Mm-hmm. But
what snack will Josiah have next episode? We'll find out.
What?
What snack will Josiah have next episode? We'll find out.
Oh yeah.
He always has a snack. Well, I have another cup of water. Absolutely.
I drank a whole thing of water, and then I'm also drinking a Coke.
Fucking guy.
Okay. But yeah, we'll hopefully see you guys within the next couple of weeks for our next off-season episode, talking about stuff. Next video, or next one, will be a 2-round mock draft on top of everything else. In every off-season, we're going to add a round until we physically don't know enough players, which will probably be. We'll probably do top 3 rounds.
Yeah, I don't want to do a whole mock. That's a lot.
Yeah, we're going to do top 3 rounds. So
if this gets posted tonight, Trevor Lawrence is throwing tomorrow at 10 a.m. live NFL Network. If it gets posted in the morning, Trevor Lawrence is throwing today, 10 a.m. NFL Network. If it gets posted on Monday, he already happened. Forget what
He's throwing on 2/12/21. There we go.
This is getting posted at 6 a.m. on Friday morning.
He's throwing at 10 a.m. live NFL Network.
And if you're watching this after 10 a.m. and you didn't watch it in those 4 hours, we're disappointed in you. We expected better.
Should have watched Big Cat Chat.
God.
You should have our notifications on.
As he continues to drink his Coke.
But yeah, so just to clean things up, we did a 1st-round mock this time. Next video, we're going to do a 2-round mock, and then the time after that will be a 3-round mock, and then we'll be done. And we're going to obviously have other stuff to talk about, but this is our first off-season podcast. Hope you guys did enjoy it. And it was fun. Hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. If you have anything you'd like to let us know, comment it down below. Follow our Twitters. Our DMs are always open, all of us. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed.
My Twitter handle changed, so it's B_Roni_ now. So it's not my first and last name. I changed it. So
yeah, it's B-Roni.
It's way better.
You guys got any last words?
Famous last words. Nope.
The Jets win! The Jets win! Let's go! Let's go!
See you guys later. Peace.